Now, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that you're looking at running for president again.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red cake.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Donald Trump will not become president.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
Donald Trump will never, ever be president.
Moderator, but apparently believes that Donald Trump is a clown.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to.
Let's see, I'm at 42 and you're at...
We have a key race alert right now. Donald Trump now has reached the number of delegates needed to clinch the Republican presidential nomination.
So, right now, Mr. Trump, to answer your call for political honesty, I just want to say, you're not going to be president, all right? It's been fun. It's been great. I love you. But come on, buddy.
Donald Trump, while we project, will win in Kentucky with its 8 electoral votes, in Indiana with its 11th electoral votes, West Virginia, Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kansas with its 6 electoral votes, Nebraska with its 5 electoral votes, and Wyoming with its 3 electoral votes, North Dakota with its 3 electoral votes, and South Dakota, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, the state of Montana, Missouri, Ohio, Idaho, North Carolina.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
Together, we will make America great again.
What's up, Snake Pit? What's up, 199? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, D-Day Cobra. And man, oh man, it's like Elon and Trump are just breaking the brains of all of the left-wing lunatics right now, and it is absolutely glorious to watch. It really is something to behold. I mean, the Trump, what's happened in the last few days with the Trump comments are just unbelievable. And of course, we're going to fully react to Don Lemon's interview with Elon Musk, the interview that basically showed Elon Musk that you can take the dude out of CNN. I don't even know if we can call him a dude. You can take the person out of CNN, but you can't take the CNN out of the person. And Don Lemon proves that he is 1,000% still a CNN clown. Shockingly enough, he's not as bad as Chris Cuomo, who was just hired by Valuetainment, which is another discussion for another time. But we got Kurt Angle's stare already before the show starts, dropping a 50 and says, "For democracy." Let's go. I'm ready to play Helldivers right now. I know Hailstorm's ready to play. Yes, Helldivers is amazing. We've been playing that a little bit over on the D-Day Cobra 199 channel, and it has been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to playing it more. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I shared this meme today on Twitter. It's a meme that like I had already seen it made, and I just kind of remade it. I remade it a little better. But I mean, I didn't make the meme. But I took someone else's meme. It's this one right here. It says, are you a man or a woman? I'm a helldiver. What gender are you? Democracy. Yeah, but what's that in your pants? Freedom. It's the best fucking meme ever. And this game is so freaking cool. And I've got a video coming out on Geeks and Gamers talking about that game and everything surrounding it. But yeah, man, Helldivers is absolutely fantastic. But hello, everyone, and thank you, Kurt Angle Stare, for that very generous $50 super chat. Make sure you smash the melee button. Let's get everybody in here. And we're going to talk about Don Lemon. We're going to talk about the mainstream lies against Donald Trump. And again, it really comes back to one thing, something I've talked about many times. It's Elon Musk is someone that we should be so thankful for many reasons. I mean, he really has single-handedly kind of been on the front lines of battling against that narrative that Trump said those things, which he clearly did not say. I mean, Elon Musk tweeted about this 4 or 5 different times, I think. I'm actually trying to scroll my timeline right now so I can go and verify how many times Elon Musk tweeted about the Trump bloodbath thing. I was a little disappointed in community notes because, I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of community notes anyway, but right here. So this is Elon 1, 2, let's see, 3, 4. All right, so here's the first one. He retweets End Wokeness and puts a ton of eyes on it, 283,000 likes, 40 million views. And then he tweets this meme that got 30 million views with a bloodbath meme. Then he tweets this one, Legacy Media Lies. That got 30 million views. And then he put the full speech in context. We got 62 million views. All right? That's insane. And so he's kind of single-handedly battled against all of this nonsense. And we're going to talk more about this with Trump's comments and everything like that. But imagine what this looks like without Elon controlling Twitter. Because this is what the 2020 election was, where big tech was silencing President Trump, silencing anyone, basically, that was telling the truth about what was going on. And the mainstream lies about Trump and the words that were said and taking them out of context and using them against him has been, they took it to another level. Even the Biden campaign sends this trash out right here. Listen to this. This is from the official Joe Biden Twitter account right here. Listen to this.
A bloodbath. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. Jews will not replace us. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Are you willing to condemn white supremacists and militia groups?
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
Please rise for the horribly and unfairly treated January 6th hostages.
There'll be a lot of pardons and commutations of January 6th defendants.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell your supporters now, no matter what, no violence.
And it's going to be a bloodbath.
That is insane. That is insane. The Biden campaign from Joe Biden's official Twitter account puts that out. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. This is the desperation that they are facing, this level of desperation. One more time. I can't believe it. This is going to backfire so bad on them. This is going to backfire so incredibly bad. One more time. This is insanity. Oh, of course, Twitter's doing the Twitter thing really quick. Let's see if we can get it to play with the refresh. Here we go.
A bloodbath, and it's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
Jews will not replace us.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Are you willing to condemn white supremacists and militia groups?
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
Please rise for the horribly and unfairly treated January 6th hostages.
There'll be a lot of pardons and commutations of January 6th defendants.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell your supporters now, no matter what, no violence.
And it's going to be a bloodbath.
That is to me, that tells me that they are absolutely terrified right now of the momentum that Trump has, of the support that Trump has. They are terrified. And again, as I've said, within anything that is at the end of the road, what do? They become desperate. They become extremely desperate. And that's exactly what the Biden campaign is doing right now. They are totally desperate because they realize that it is close now. Like, they are losing control. They have lost control in a lot of ways, and it's only going to get worse for them. And then you see the reaction from a lot of the weirdos over on the left. This right here. I'm sure you saw this one. Keith Olbermann, this is the Biden-Harris HQ Twitter account, says Trump says he has been treated worse than Abraham Lincoln, who was assassinated. Keith Olbermann retweets the Biden HQ and says there's always hope. They are screwed, and they know it. The meltdown has been absolutely insane right now. And yeah, and of course this got hit for post is unavailable. So the actual post got hit right there. And it's only going to get worse for them. So yes, it has been pretty glorious to watch for sure. Everybody's rolling in. Hello, everyone. Welcome into CobraCast 199. I appreciate you guys being here on this Monday night. And I do have, I don't know if I can, I'm supposed to have a guest on Wednesday. I got to double check to make sure everything is on the go. But one piece of, and no, it's not going to be Matt Walsh. I know everybody's like, oh, you're going to have Matt Walsh on to talk about everything. And I'm like, no, it's not going to be Matt Walsh. So I did send a tweet out the other day. So I want to give a tad bit more context to the tweet that I sent out. So right here is the tweet that I sent out. I said, I just want to let everyone know that Matt Walsh and I spoke privately. We had a good conversation, and we both understand each other's perspectives a little better now. The true enemy is the left-wing activist. No need for infighting with people you generally agree with. So, basically, to kind of give a little more perspective on this, we talked. I explained my perspective. He explained his perspective. And there was kind of like a mutual understanding of both perspectives. I don't think you're going to see, like, me and Matt Walsh aren't going to be best friends right now. Okay, that's not going to happen. I'm not looking to make that happen. But ultimately, I wanted to be able to voice I wanted to be direct with him. He wanted to be direct with me. And I was able to say, like, dude, you got gaming all wrong, and you need to understand it. You need to understand how wrong you've got this. And then he gave me his perspective on that. And it was cool. And he thanked me, for everything I had to say. I thanked him. And that's kind of it. That's the gist of it. That's really it. And I don't think you're going to see him appearing on Mario Kart streams anytime soon. I don't think you're going to see him playing Fortnite with us or Helldivers. But ultimately, we were able to at least shake hands and at least understand everybody's perspective. So that's pretty much it. Matt Walsh for Party Animals. Oh, man. Zach Gibson says that the comment section for tonight's CobraCast is going to be a bloodbath. Hail MAGA and the 199. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's kind of it. It was, I've seen so many people speculating about this. And that's fine. That's what the internet does. But at the end of the day, I'm glad the conversation happened and we all move forward now. That's all it comes down to right there. Okay, that's it. That's all it comes down to. But I will stand for gaming. I will stand up for gaming and nerd culture because I think it's very important right now for the culture and for everything that's about to happen. I mean, this whole Gamergate 2.0 thing, it ain't going away. I mean, it's just not. There's another hit piece out on Gamergate right now today that is starting to make the rounds. So yeah, that is one of the many things that we are witnessing. And of course, we have the Elon Musk and the Don Lemon interview, which we're going to be reacting to. But I got to show you guys this one. Check this out. Check this out right here.
Columnist Charles Blow has a new piece for the New York Times entitled A Biden Bloodbath.
2018 midterms, you can bet that they 100% are fearing a slaughter. In fact, the word bloodbath and massacre come up frequently.
The Republican Party will be destroyed. It's going to be a bloodbath.
There's going to be a bloodbath one way or the other.
Bloodbath for Bernie Sanders.
It's been a bloodbath there, shaping up to be a bloodbath.
Head off a bloodbath in next year's crucial midterm.
Off-year elections are often a bloodbath.
This week's bloodbath for Democrats.
A bloodbath at the ballot box.
Unbelievable, man. Their hypocrisy is off the charts. Their hypocrisy is off the charts. And the thing about having Twitter now is Twitter gives us insight into this. Twitter allows us to see this for what it is. Twitter is now allowing everybody to see the truth about what is going on and everything. Now, I'm going to apologize in advance, okay? And you can be mad at C3P meme for this. So I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm going to apologize in advance. Get ready, chat. Are you ready, chat? Are you ready for what's about to happen? I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're ready at all. But you're about to get it. And let's just say it's a bit disturbing.
I've had to remove every single social tie. I had severe PTSD from this. I contemplated suicide. It got really bad. You feel like any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. And it's so isolating.
And terrifying.
It's horrifying. I'm so
on the slide.
It's really hard.
Oh, no. No. Holy crap. That was rough, man. That was rough. Look at this chat going absolutely ballistic right now. Linko Kenobi in there to save the day, though, with a $100 super chat. It says, "What's up, Jeremy? I beat Contra, and it was awesome. And there was a surprise ending after the credits. I did a live video between the Supreme Court and Texas and uploaded a video about X-Men 97. I'm going to do a live stream on Helldivers 2 after your video. Hail the 199. Thank you, Linko Kenobi. And I'm proud of you for getting that content out. That's awesome. And you're going to love Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 is goated. It's great. It's wonderful. You're going to love it. Trust me on that. I'm sorry, everybody. I know that was a rough one. Okay. And I think, let me see. You know what? I think I can find, let me see if I can find, I guess I can repay everyone. Okay. I'm going to repay everyone. Give me a minute. I wasn't prepared for, you guys got really mad about that. Okay. You guys got really, really mad about that. So I'm going to, oh my gosh. Her name is bringing a lot of searches up that I wasn't really prepared for. I'm not going to play the video, so I'll just pause it. Actually, no. Dude, okay. You type Sydney Sweeney's name in. Twitter is a rough-looking place right now. Holy shit. All it is it's not her. It's not her. That's okay. This is bullshit. Hang on. I gotta work on my search filters, I guess, because that is chaos. Don't search her name in Twitter or you're going to get a lot of, Twitter is a shit show, kind of. You know what I mean? I love what Elon's done and everything, but Twitter is kind of a shit show. All right, here we go. This will make it up for you. Here we go. Right there. All right. That's good, right? Okay. And this is to congratulate Gary, our good buddy Gary from Nerdrotic, on hitting 1 million subscribers on YouTube. 1 million subscribers. This is how we congratulate Gary. So congratulations to Gary. And I think Gary speaks for everyone. with that response right there. That was his response. So there we go. So anyway, all right. So congratulations. Awesome stuff. We had him on Geeks and Gamers Daily Live when that all went down. And yeah, it was super cool. It was super cool to have him on. Okay. So I like this. This is a good tweet right here from End Wokeness. And this is one of the tweets that Elon Musk retweeted. And he says, "We are witnessing the invention of the Bloodbath hoax in real time. Unfortunately for them, we have X media narrative." And you look at the media narrative right here. Trump says there will be a bloodbath if he loses the election. In Ohio, Trump says there will be a bloodbath if he loses the election. Rolling Stone says Trump says there will be a bloodbath. And, of course, what Trump really said was this.
Over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country, think of it, went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. A friend of mine,
And that's it. Now, to be clear, and I'll show you this really quick. Who cares what he said, okay? Like, he said it. And people have been using that type of language forever, okay? Right here. This is on Webster's dictionary right here, okay? Look at this. Bloodbath. There's a great slaughter, but then there's 2A and 2B. Look at this. 2B, a major economic disaster. Literally, the definition. A major economic disaster. The mainstream media is dying. That's something we've been aware of for a long time. All right? It's absolutely insane how much they are willing to lie and spin things and twist things and manipulate things. And the truth is they've gotten away with that for a long time. They've gotten away with it for a long time. You have this from the New York Post. Google interfered in U.S. elections to help Democrats 41 times since 2008 per report. That is from the New York Post. That is from the New York Post. Google interfered in U.S. elections to help Democrats 41 times since 2008. Does that surprise you? Does that surprise you at all? Of course it doesn't. Because you watch CobraCast. Because you know what's going on. Because all you need to do is have a little bit of common sense to know what's going on. And pay attention a little bit. And the media has gotten away with lying to people for a long, long time. But no more. And here is Morning Joe's comments on the bloodbath comments right here.
He's talking about a bloodbath for America. It's laid out in the terms of it. And these idiots on Twitter, these idiots on cable news, these idiots on Sunday shows going, well, presidents, you know, he was talking only about the auto industry, and this is one more. It's just bullshit. Let me say that at 6:15 a.m. It's just bullshit. He knew what he was doing. We're not stupid. Americans aren't stupid. He was talking about a bloodbath. Sometimes a bloodbath means a bloodbath. And when he finishes by saying, and that's just going to be the least of it, seriously, these people may be stupid. We're not.
My goodness, the unbelievable irony of that one. These people may be stupid, but we're not. Okay, Morning Joe. Okay. Yeah, let's just go with that one. Holy crap, man. Again, it really is... we are witnessing it right here, right now. It's March of 2024. We've seen a lot of crazy stuff happening in 2024 already, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. You got the whole situation in Georgia where Fani Willis gets to stay on the case, on the Trump case, even though everybody with any common sense sees right through that. And again, that's what I said when, you know, it was basically... When we found out that she was going to stay on the case, I still think that's a net positive for Trump as well. All of this stuff that's happening is a net positive for him. All of it. This is what has elevated him, is the corruption, and it's to show that every time Trump gets up there and says that they are lying, they are cheating, they are stealing, they are doing this, they are doing that, it's a corrupt system, it's a witch hunt. I mean, he's been saying this for years. And the more that they do it, the more they just prove the man right. And people are going to go, I didn't like Trump at first, but he's really on to something right here. Every time you turn around, they're fake indicting him. They're letting corrupt prosecutors stay on these cases. They're making these ridiculous appraisals of his land in Mar-a-Lago and his property values. People are just seeing it right there. And now the bloodbath comments is another situation of just watching the corruption right in front of our face. So yeah, it's wild, man. It really is. Let me read a few super chats, and then we're going to get into the Don Lemon, Elon Musk interview. I have not watched it. I've seen a few clips on social media, but we're going to watch it directly on Don Lemon's YouTube channel, which the video is already ratioed at the time of me recording this. It's already ratioed. Greg Kirby says, bro, Maganomics emote is needed. Noted. Kurt Angle Stare says, Helldivers 2 later. I probably not tonight, but I've already been playing some Helldivers today. I was playing solo just to kind of keep ranking up. I love it so damn much. Josiah Robinson says, coming to you directly from the hospital tonight. Doing okay now. Thanks for keeping me distracted and for the year of gifted memberships. Hail the 199. Well, Josiah Robinson, what is going on? Are you okay? Let us know, man. Talk to us. We're going to keep you entertained throughout the night. So let us know how you're doing, brother. Nothing but good vibes in the chat for Josiah Robinson. Sierra Tan says, hail the snake pit, Trump 2024. Golden Nugget says, I tried to change my avatar to Dan Vast's sad face. That was so funny having Dan on Daily today when that happened. That was good stuff. Michael Salo says, Trump 2024, like it or don't like it, but you better learn to love it because it's the best thing going. Woo! A little bit of Ric Flair right there. I can dig that. Thank you so much for the $13.99. Greg Kirby says, bro, call Jay. Jay is out of town. I can't call Jay right now. He's busy. Objectively, a cat says, if we don't super chat Jeremy and hit that like button, it'll be a real bloodbath at G&G. Absolutely. Celluloid Dream says, Jeremy is gay. Ministry of Wrong Thing says, bro, you got to watch the clips of Stephen A. Smith's Trump versus Dems rant. Dude went completely based as fuck. Liberal Hive Mind covered it on his channel. Stephen A. did a video on Trump. Another one? Let me see if I can find this one. Stephen A. Smith. All right. Let's type this up. Stephen A. Smith. Okay. All right. 2 days ago. I'm looking for it. I don't see one. Thoughts on black conservatives. What is this about the bloodbath? Did he comment on the bloodbath comments? Oh, here we go. Wait. Is this it?
Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show, right?
Okay. All right, we'll watch that. We'll watch that here in just a second then. I have not seen that one. All right, cool. Dead Storm says, just had a wisdom tooth removed. Thanks for the stream to entertain us all. Hailed the 199 Trump 2024 from Australia. Right on, man. Hope, man. Having your wisdom tooth removed sucks. I remember, I don't remember. I don't remember much of it. But I just remember when I woke up from having my wisdom tooth removed, I remember I didn't feel that I had a jaw. I felt like my entire jaw had been removed, and I was freaking out. Because I was like, and I couldn't find it. Like, I kept trying, and I was completely out of it. And all I remember is I just thought that my entire bottom jaw was gone. I was freaking the fuck out. That's all I remember about it. Apparently, I said I'm Batman, and I told all the dentists and the assistants that I was Batman. I don't remember that. That's what I'm. And they were like, okay, you're Batman. I'm like, yes, I'm Batman. I have to go fight crime right now, and you need to leave me alone. I don't remember saying that, but that's what I was told that I said. But yeah, it was wild. It was wild. Let's check out this Stephen A. Smith bit real quick, because I have not seen this. I think The high price of Democrats' anti-Trump lawfare breakdown. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right.
Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airways of YouTube. Before I get back to some tweets and calls and all of this stuff, I got to touch on this subject right here. A recent Wall Street Journal opinion piece entitled, "The High Price of Democrats' Anti-Trump Lawfare," written by Daniel Henninger, spoke of how most Americans believe the rule of law is better than the law of the jungle, but how that could change. According to Henninger, the newest buzzword in politics is lawfare, or using the legal system as a weapon against a political opponent. Henninger questions how many lawsuits, court motions, and judgments against Donald Trump the Democratic Party can actually chow down on. He also ponders about the high price.
Is this the one you guys want me to watch? I'm just curious. So,
the American system may pay for all of this in excess. Let me tell you something. It was a great opinion piece. I completely agree with Daniel Henninger of the Wall Street Journal, the opinion piece that he wrote in there, because we've got to get to a point where we're saying when's enough's enough. Donald Trump made a very salient point. I know you don't hear me say that often, but it's true. He made a very salient point a couple of weeks ago, or I think it was in the immediate aftermath of Super Tuesday, when he was talking about President Biden, and he was saying, come beat me. Stop trying to use the legal system in order to pull it off. Now, obviously, President Biden would say it has nothing to do with me. He's the president of the United States. He's not the prosecution in Georgia. He's not the prosecutor in New York. Okay, he has nothing to do with those things. So he may say, maybe it's true. But I find it very, very difficult to believe that everybody on the Democratic side is innocent. I mean, when you look at the inordinate amount of charges that are coming Trump's way, I mean, when is enough's enough? E. Jean Carroll awarded $83.3 million in a defamation suit against Trump. Okay? By the way, New York judge, Arthur.
This is the point that I'm trying to make right here. So Stephen A., I've been watching Stephen A. for a long time. He's not somebody that I would, on sports wise, like he's very hit or miss, but like he knows basketball. What I'm saying is like, this is not somebody you're going to typically trust on politics at all. All right. Because every time he starts out talking about something, he starts out by going, as a black man. And I'm like, why do you have to start out every fucking conversation with the most obvious statement that you're a black guy? Thanks, Stephen A., for qualifying. That is the dumbest shit ever. And so, but the point here is that somebody that's not someone that you're going to like typically look at and think, wow, that's somebody that definitely would lean Trump. He's not. And even he's looking at all of this and going, what the fuck is going on?
Elon ordered Trump to pay a total of $450 million in a civil fraud trial over valuations of his net worth. New York State Attorney Letitia James says if the massive bond isn't posted, she'll seize Mr. Trump's New York buildings. This is according to the article in the Wall Street Journal. We know about what's happening in Georgia. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis, all right, regardless of her own stuff going on with her and somebody else, Mr. Wade, who's also an attorney that she utilized to go after Trump, but that's a different subject for another day, what they've got going on here right now. She goes after 18 other defendants for violating the state's Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act in connection with the 2020 presidential election. The presiding judge dismissed 6 of the 41 counts. This is all according to the article here. You got Colorado, Maine, and Illinois took various legal actions to ban Mr. Trump from the 2024 presidential ballot. Efforts recently blocked by a unanimous Supreme Court decision. They got a 6-3 majority, 6 conservatives, 3 liberals, but unanimously they blocked this effort by Colorado, Maine, and Illinois. You got the special counsel, Jack Smith, going after Trump on trial for a set of federal charges. One over possession of classified documents, another for the former president's actions the day of the 2021 Capitol riot. Okay, that issue is still up in the air. And in the meantime, we've got a situation where a guy by the name of Robert Hur, a classified document special counsel investigating President Biden, ultimately exercised prosecutorial discretion, saying the current president isn't exonerated, but won't be prosecuted, leaving the situation involving Joe Biden to the court of public opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, there's so much to get into. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to simply say this. Trump is kicking the Democrats, you know what.
Yes. See, that's the whole point behind all of this. That is the whole point behind all of this.
91 charges. 4 indictments, 91 counts against him. He's been impeached twice. And he still ran away with the GOP nomination.
Yes.
It was a cakewalk. DeSantis couldn't beat him. Christie couldn't beat him. Nikki Haley couldn't beat him. Vivek Ramaswamy couldn't beat him. They can't touch him.
Can't touch him.
And we're still waiting for him to go to jail. We're still waiting for him because supposedly he's done so much. Russian collusion, remember all of that? We're still waiting for we're still waiting for the guilty verdict. We're still waiting for him to be incarcerated. We're still waiting for him to be seen in zebra stripes. You can't touch him. And now he's throwing this salvo. He said, yo, why don't you come beat me? Stop engaging in lawfare and using the legal system to push your political agenda. Come beat me. That's what he did. Listen, I do sports most of the time. That's the kind of language we want to hear, ain't it? Can
Yes.
you beat him or not?
Yes.
You gonna beat him? 4 different polls show that Joe Biden is trailing, that Trump is gaining momentum. You can look at the right and talk about their commitment to Biden's cognitive decline narrative. The fact of the matter is, in half of America's eyes, Trump is seen as damn near criminal. And he's still collecting more campaign dollars and more votes. He is the GOP nominee. I believe it's his daughter-in-law that's about to be the head of the Republican National
Co-chair. Co-chair.
If she isn't already, are you going to stop him or not? This article is a very profound one. The high price of Democrats' anti-Trump lawfare. Because when the legal system is utilized this way and people see you getting away with trying to cause all of this ruckus towards him as opposed to simply beating him at the polls, that gives them additional fodder to question the legal system. And once they do that, it gives them a significant license to be lawless and to engage in lawlessness, which will explain some of the mayhem and the nonsense we've been seeing in the streets of America that would have never been tolerated.
Maybe you're starting to get it, Stephen A., but I guarantee, I'm telling you, man, I watched Stephen A. long enough to know he will back down. He will back down. Remember, he works for Disney. He works for ESPN. He's the top guy at ESPN. He'll call this out. He'll back down, though. He'll back down. But he is an example as to the person that's there, that's seeing all of this. You can't ignore it. You cannot ignore it.
Even as late and as recently as Barack Obama being in office, or George W. Bush for that matter, or Bill Clinton for that matter. The nonsense that we're seeing in the streets today easily could be attributed to a level of lawlessness that people don't care about committing because they're seeing our politicians manipulate the system in such a way that they don't like it, because it reminds them of things they've always felt about our government to begin with. Which is, by the way, what makes Trump sound like he had a lot of sense when he was comparing himself to the plight of black folks, even though we know better. Anybody black knows that ain't a problem Trump had. But he talked about being a victim. He talked about the system being rigged against him. He talked about the powers that be wielding and influencing a level of power just to make him uncomfortable for their own bidding, as opposed to it being legitimate. And you know what his ultimate argument is? The GOP nomination. Because if he is all of these things, why should he be allowed to be the GOP nominee? He's going to use that and say, I must be innocent. It's them. It's not me. And at least 74 million people, based on the numbers stemming from the 2020 election, are going to side with him. What about the 81+ million that once sided with Biden?
Yeah, whatever. So I can appreciate that Stephen A is, kind of like talking some sense or whatever, but it's still, man, like I don't know, man. I don't see it personally. I don't think he's going to stay the course. I really, really don't. I think he will back down for sure because he always does. Like he tends to always back off for some reason. Some reason he'll spin it. He'll say, "Oh well, Joe Biden's done this great or he's done that great." That's just who Stephen A is. He's always he's not. He doesn't have the balls to actually stand for it. He likes to tease it out there because he thinks it'll get him some different eyes on his content. But ultimately, I think it more or less gives us an insight into how Trump could be impacting a lot of people kind of in the middle there. Cube Gaming for 10 says Cobra Commander has ordered an immediate deployment to support G.I. Joe against their common enemy, Skeletor. Skeletor, what? What's up, Cube Gaming? $10 super chat. Fantastic vs. Knox says, Hail Jeremy, hail chat. Scanning in 199. What a couple of wonderful days it's been. Grats, Gary, for 1 million. Mainstream media spinning Trump's bloodbath quote. Wow. Oh, they 100% are. They 100% are. Let's get into the Don Lemon Elon Musk interview, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, here we go right here. I have not watched this. I've only seen a few clips. Okay, but here we go. All right, here we go. So let me hang on. Let's refresh this real quick and see. 12,000 downvotes. All right, so it's already been ratioed over on Don Lemon's YouTube channel. So Don Lemon has already been ratioed because he's a piece of trash. I want to see how this goes. So we're going to watch from beginning to end. And by the way, as I've said, this is going to be the most relevant Don Lemon will ever be. This is going to be the most views he gets. This is going to be the most relevant, having Elon Musk and basically trying to trap Elon Musk and get him a gotcha interview. It's the most relevant Don Lemon will ever be.
Welcome to the Don Lemon Show, everyone. We're still here. In a minute, I'm going to bring you my conversation with Elon Musk, the one that
I normally wouldn't listen to kind of the intro here, but I want to hear how he's going to frame it because this is part of his manipulation tactic right here.
Everyone is talking about. But first, let me tell you a bit about the show.
Is the volume okay?
Contrary to what you might have heard, we weren't canceled by X. Yes, after months of begging me, wooing me to offer some exclusive content on his platform, Elon Musk decided to scrap the deal. But our plan is, and always has been, to release this show everywhere, on YouTube, on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, just about any place you stream content. Now for my conversation with Elon. As with all my interviews, no restrictions, no ground rules, nothing off limits or out of bounds. That is until the interview ended. So what went wrong? I don't know. But my hope is that you learned something about both Elon and me, two people who come from completely different vantage points on almost every single issue. And I challenge you, Elon, to watch the whole interview and tell the world why this isn't what you claim you want on X.
Thank you for inviting us here.
You're welcome.
Your Tesla headquarters. I'm surprised at how big it is. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's about 3 times the size of the Pentagon.
Yeah.
And we built it in 16 months. It's the fastest construction project in the United States since World War II.
So I'm here, as you know, I'm on the platform because you say you're a free speech absolutist, right? And there are no conditions.
Yeah. Free speech is as much as possible within the bounds of the law.
Yeah. So
he's not, but again, he's much better than most.
The reason I'm saying that is because there are no conditions on this interview. You said that, we'll speak to you for an hour. I don't like sound bites, so I welcome that. So let's get into it. So we're here in Austin. South by Southwest is going on. We're at the Tesla headquarters. You are in the process of moving SpaceX here, I understand?
No. SpaceX has a massive facility in South Texas where we build and launch Starship. And then we have in Bastrop near Austin, we are about to start production at a Starlink, a large Starlink factory for Starlink terminals. But but we're not shutting down any facilities in California.
Listen, we are here as part of a launch of a news interview show that is going to be on X.com. It's coming as the media industry, as you know, is going through a whole lot of changes.
Yeah.
X has also been affected by that. Where do you see X.com's role in the future of news and journalism, Elon?
Well, I think I see the X as it's already the number one source of news in the world. So it is number one, the number one way that people actually are informed about any kind of news, meaning real-time events, is on the X platform, formerly Twitter. There's nothing even close for real-time news. So we also want to expand upon that, and we have done so with long-form content. So instead of just doing what used to be called tweets, you can now do long-form posts. You can post an
Now, if you've watched Elon interviews from like back in the day, he's actually like not as good of a speaker as he used to be. And I think he thinks about everything that he says now a lot more. It's almost like he pauses to process, like, before I say something, I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing. Because if you look at his interviews from like 15, 20 years ago, he's actually was like a lot more on point and articulate. So I think he just is thinking about what he's going to say.
Entire essay, in fact,
I think.
Now put an entire book, post an entire book to the platform. You can do long form video content, so you can do up to 4-hour video segments. We really want news in whatever form it is, or information, I should say, in whatever form it is, to be available on our platform, whether it's short, long, text, pictures, video, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and some of the stuff that we do, long-form video, interview shows, what have you.
Yeah.
You reached out over the summer and you said, it would be great to have Maddow, Don Lemon, others on the left put on this platform. You received full support. The digital town square is for all. What do you mean by that?
Well, I just mean that we want to make sure that there are a wide variety of viewpoints, that it's we always have, for example, Tucker Carlson, who most people will view as being on the right, and that's quite a prominent name on the right. We want to have prominent names on the left as well to provide different points of view.
Yeah, and the difference is, Don Lemon, is that he extended that opportunity to you, and you've already pissed it away because you're a manipulative piece of shit. And this is why you always hear people go, well, I've heard this argument for years when people are like, well, Jeremy, why don't you have like left-wing voices on your platform that disagree with you? Mainly because you fucking people are psychopaths, that's why. And you can't find a normal operating leftist that'll just actually talk to you without turning it into some bullshit situation like Don Lemon has turned this whole thing into. That's the problem.
Yeah, as well as centrists. Just basically a wide range of viewpoints on the platform, so users can hear different opinions. They can hear, what's your point of view, what's Tucker's point of view, and and people can make their own decision about what they believe.
You didn't mean that I'm on the left? Did you think that?
I thought you were on the left, but yeah. I don't know. Well, let's just say I don't know what the left is or the right is, frankly, these days, because things can be quite polarized. But my impression was that you're more likely to be described as on the left than the right. My sense is you're sort of center left. I don't know. You tell me.
Well, did you ever watch me on CNN, or did you watch?
I saw I saw segments.
Yeah.
But CNN is generally considered left.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
What?
Why do I say CNN is generally considered left? I think if you look at any sort of media survey of what is on the left or right, I think they would say, like, for example, Fox is on the right and CNN is on the left.
Yeah. So that's what is it?
Am I missing something here?
Holy shit. Like, you could see, I think this is the point where Elon is starting to realize, like, what the fuck is going on here? Don Lemon, you're supposed to be a journalist.
Okay. Are you missing something? I don't know. I think that when I read that, I said, like many of my critics or detractors, they never really watched me on CNN. They just saw the clips of me either on social media or maybe on Fox News or in conservative media, where it's sort of a where I become a character or a caricature of what I actually am, and it's taken out of context.
Sure. Well, how would you describe yourself?
I would describe myself as someone who is, I am independent in my thinking, and I vote for people based on the issues and how I feel about it, not necessarily because of political leaning of some sort.
Well, I agree with that approach. I think that's generally how people should take things, which is, I mean.
And look at here, Don Lemon proves himself to be a pure leftist through this interview. Holy shit, these people have no self-awareness whatsoever. My goodness.
There are a whole sort of set of issues which are sort of somewhat arbitrarily bucketed into right or left. But I think most citizens would think that they would agree with some things on the left, but not everything, or they agree on some things on the right, but not everything. So that's what I think most people feel, I guess.
How much longer, and maybe the answer is forever, how much longer are we going to have to call it the formerly known as Twitter? I mean, even Prince went back to Prince instead of, is it always going to be X?
It's definitely always going to be X.
So X is going through some changes. As I said, a lot of media companies are going through some changes. You're in charge of an incredible platform, Elon. How do you feel that's going?
I think it's going pretty well so far. We're seeing record usage. We've added a tremendous amount of functionality. I mentioned that it used to be that you could only do.
So Elon still seems like he's playing ball right now, for sure. But like I've seen some of the clips later on where the tension is definitely it changes. So he seems like he's at least still trying to play ball right now.
Short, text and maybe a picture or something like that, short video. But now you can do long form text, long form video. We've added audio video calling. So you can not just do text DMs, you can do audio video calling. We've improved the algorithm, I think, significantly, and made the system faster and better and best reflected in the increased usage.
So let's talk about that, because you said you wanted all points of view, right? It's a digital town square for all.
Yeah.
It's the platform has kind of picked up where some conservative media has left off. That moving to the right, increasingly becoming part of a conservative dialogue, and sometimes even conspiracy theories, right? There was an article recently written about you saying that you, Donald Trump, and X were the most important people or places or whatever icons when it comes to the MAGA movement. Do you agree with that? How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, there are nonsense articles written all the time, and I certainly wouldn't agree with that one. I put it in the nonsense category. So the objective fact of the matter, in my opinion, was that old Twitter was fundamentally a tool of the far left.
Yes.
And that was really, yes. I think a lot of it was due to being located in San Francisco, Berkeley. And so it wanted to essentially project the SF Berkeley political dogma worldwide.
You think it was far left?
Yes, I do.
I used to I actually got off the platform because I would get so much hate.
They banned the sitting president of the United States of America and wiped all of his comments to make him look bad. Holy shit.
Tweets, when it was called in, so much hate tweets and just guff from right-wing conspiracy theorists being called everything from, fag to...
Sure. It's the internet,
everything.
If people will do... I've been called every name times 1,000.
Don Lemon dropping some gamer words. Let's go, redemption arc. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Do you agree that it's right now and that even it's moved into sort of MAGA land conspiracy theory?
I certainly don't think it's right. The old school Twitter suspended and suppressed accounts that you'd call on the right 10 times more than they did accounts on the left. And even when they did suspend an account on the left, it was because of arguments between two people on the left. The political donations of old Twitter were 99% Democrat. Does that sound left-wing or right-wing to you?
Yeah.
The Twitter donations?
Yes. When they look at donations from a company, if a company donates literally 99% of all donations are to Democrats, does that strike you as a left-leaning or a right-leaning
company?
Oh,
You mean the company donated. I understand what you're saying.
What I'm trying to tell you is that Twitter employees, people at Twitter, their political donations were 99%, literally 99%, to Democrats. That's obviously an extremely left-leaning group.
My question to leading into this is about MAGA. And speaking of MAGA, you recently met with Donald Trump in Florida. What did you guys talk about?
I was at a dinner. I was not done. I was at a breakfast at a friend's place, and Donald Trump came by. That's it.
So you didn't go there to meet him?
No, I went to
in my opinion, this is exactly how they wanted it presented if it was going to be asked, is to blow it off like, yeah, I mean, I was just going there to meet a friend and then Trump stopped by. That's all. So I 1000% believe that that's the way that they have gotten this worked out to make it not look organized. And I'm okay with that.
A friend of mine's house and it said Donald Trump's coming by for breakfast. Is that, just so you know, like, okay, fine.
What did you discuss?
Let's just say he did most of the talking.
What did he say?
The normal things he says. There was nothing particularly groundbreaking or new, but President Trump likes to talk, and so he talked. I don't recall him saying anything that he hasn't said publicly, and that was it. It was just a breakfast.
Did he ask you for money?
He didn't.
Did he ask you for a donation?
No.
Oh my God.
No. You said you're not going to donate to any candidate.
That's correct.
Why?
Did he ask you for money? No. Did he ask you for a donation? Holy shit, man. Don Lemon's a piece of garbage.
No.
I think while I'll voice my opinion, I think I don't want to put a thumb on the scale monetarily that is, significant.
Are you going to loan him money to help pay his bills?
No,
not at all. Pay his legal bills.
I'm not paying his legal bills in any way, shape, or form.
And he did not ask you for money.
And he did not ask me for money.
Are you going to? So you're not going to endorse a candidate?
I may, in the final stretch, endorse a candidate, but I don't know yet. I want to make a considered decision before the election, and if I do decide to endorse a candidate, then I will explain exactly why.
Are you leaning towards anyone?
Jesus.
No. You're not leaning towards anyone. Because you've been...
I'm leaning away from Biden.
You are sitting across from the richest man in the world and one of the great innovators that we'll ever see. And if Trump was sitting there, he'd be treating Trump probably even worse. But yet when you have a fucking corrupt Democrat sitting across from you, you don't ask these questions. When you have a corrupt Democratic politician sitting across from you, you don't ask these questions. If Anthony Fauci was sitting across from you, you wouldn't be asking these questions. It's unbelievable the level of disrespect. It really is.
I've made no secret of that.
Are you concerned about losing your security clearance if Biden is reelected? Does that have anything to do with it?
Jeez.
No.
You are leaning away from Biden, but you're not going to endorse anyone. It seems like an endorsement of President Trump because there are only two people who are running now. Nikki Haley is out.
I mean, a lot can happen between now and the election, so we'll see who, in the final analysis, are the choices for president. And at that point, I may or may not endorse one of the candidates. If I do, I will provide a very detailed explanation of why I am endorsing one or the other.
At that point, might you contribute or donate?
Jesus.
I think it's unlikely.
So you have been posting up a storm, as you always do in the past couple weeks, about the redesign of the Tesla Roadster coming at the end of this year.
It looks awesome.
Are there any kind of updates that you can talk about that to expect from your...
Anybody want to send super chats so I can maybe get one of those? I'm kidding.
Flagship EV. I mean, Tesla stock is down in the last 6 months. What's next for the company?
You know, the stocks go up and down, but what really matters is, are we making and delivering great products? The Tesla products are outstanding. Last year, the Tesla Model Y was the best-selling car of any kind in the world. So it was about 1.2 million units. It was the best-selling car despite being, I think, around 50% more expensive than the next.
I've never driven a Tesla, ever.
Best-selling vehicle. of any kind, not just electric. So I think that's a testament to the incredible work of the Tesla team.
Yeah.
And we launched the Cybertruck. Obviously, that's being very well received. We have, I think, over 1 million orders for the Cybertruck. So it's a really special product. I think the Cybertruck is one of those products that comes along really once in several years, maybe once a decade. A Cybertruck is a once a decade product. It is so special, and I think it's our best product.
But everyone improves over time. I mean, Apple, I thought my phone was here, but Apple, the phone got better over time. I'm sure your cars will get better over time. You have been tweeting about the updates in the Roadsters. There's something that we should expect?
Sure. You did mention the Roadster. So, look, I don't want to give away, much more than what I've said publicly, except that the Roadster will be a collaboration between SpaceX and Tesla. So, you can expect some rockety stuff there.
A flying car?
Maybe.
What is wrong with Don Lemon? Like, Don Lemon makes this so fucking awkward. I don't understand this is the worst interview I've ever fucking heard, man. This is bad.
It's not out of the question.
Go on.
No, I gotta reserve the cool stuff for the, when we actually unveil it. But it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna have some rocket technology in it. I think the only way to do something that's cooler than the Cybertruck is to combine the SpaceX and Tesla technology to create something that's not even really a car.
Then what would it be?
Something that's never existed before.
I'm getting Jetsons vibes.
Totally Jetsons vibes. The audience may not be aware, like, some things that I have said publicly is that it'll do 0 to
Thank you, Lower Lips Liquor, for those 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you.
60 in under 1 second. So that's by far faster than any sports car that exists. And that's not even the most exciting thing about it.
Does it have wings?
No, it does not have big wings, because big wings would be unwieldy on the road.
Does it have propellers?
It does not have propellers.
Okay. It has wheels.
It does have wheels. Okay. Roadster 20 questions.
Does it have a steering wheel?
Not exactly.
What is it?
It'll have a.
Oh my gosh, this is terrible, dude. This is a terrible interview.
Kind of like the way aircraft or modern jets are controlled.
And do you think it's the way of the future that everyone will follow your lead on this?
I don't think anyone will ever make anything like the Roadster that we're going to make.
Let's talk.
Hayden Wayne says, Don, I wish you weren't so awkward, bud. Why you got to make it weird? Yeah, he is complete. And yeah, Zevin Cross, this sounds like an interrogation rather than an interview at this point. 1,000%.
Now about SpaceX, Tesla, you got a lot of lawsuits. You've got X.com.
It's like he's interviewing a criminal right now. Like, that's how he's treating Elon Musk, is that you're interviewing a criminal. The lack of respect is astonishing.
You got a lot going on. How do you relax?
Well, I relax. I spend time with my kids, my friends, and I, make somewhat of a nerd technologist. I like playing video games. So I'll play video games with friends online.
Which one?
Lately I've been playing Diablo. But I've played almost all the games over the years. A long time ago, I was like semi-pro good at Quake. This is really dating me because we're talking about like 25 years ago.
I don't.
Elon for Tuesday night's main event.
Video games. I just know that my great nephew loves Fortnite and some other stuff. He's always with the headphones and doing.
So why did you ask him what games if you don't know anything about games? Was that like a gotcha, like to trip him up to say, can he name any games really quick? That seems like that's what he was trying to do, because you don't even know anything about Quake or Diablo or anything like that. Disco Cobra for 50 says, I'm sure you have seen that Stuttering Craig is doing something in regards to gaming. Is this something to combat the current day journalist of games media? Either way, I'm all on board, and I would love to contribute in any way I can. Take gaming back. Absolutely. I talked to Craig. We've even got an interview or an article on geeksgamers.com. I talked to Craig before he even released that video about it. He called me. Fully support him on that.
The thing. So that helps you relax, right? So
yeah. And the nice thing is if you've got friends in different cities and they're playing the same game, you can both go online at the same time and play the game together, even though you're in different cities.
Listen, I'm not asking you anything that anyone else hasn't asked you about.
What did he say? Wait, what?
You're different, the same. Yeah.
Headphones, and know that my great nephew loves Fortnite and some other stuff. He's always with the headphones and doing the thing. So that helps you relax, right? So yeah. And the nice thing is if you've got friends in different cities and they're playing the same game, you can both go online at the same time and play the game together, even though you're in different cities. Listen, I'm not asking you anything that anyone else hasn't asked you about your controversial stuff that you tweet. You post a lot of controversial stuff. Is that considered blowing off steam?
Oh my God.
Well, I guess I do enjoy using the platform. I mean, I do call the X platform the PvP, or player versus player platform.
Don doesn't get
so
that.
In video games, there's player versus like environment, where you're not playing against other people, and then there's PvP, which is like hardcore. You're actually playing against other people, and
but that's blowing off steam for you.
He's trying to explain it to your dumbass. If you'd shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it is to some degree, not always. I mean, obviously, I use it for to post jokes, to post, sometimes trivia, sometimes things that are of great importance.
So you do a lot of it at night, like late at night. So when you're doing this, are you sober when you do it?
Almost always.
Under the influence of anything?
No, I don't drink. I don't really. No.
So you got no drink, no smoke, no nothing. I mean, you smoke pot with Rogan.
I had one puff.
Yeah.
I think anyone who smokes pot can tell I don't know how to smoke pot.
But you've admitted that you have a ketamine prescription.
Yeah.
What's that for?
Well, I mean, it's pretty private to ask somebody about a medical prescription, you know. But I think it's something I'd say, like, there are times when I have sort of I don't know, like a negative chemical state in my brain, like depression, I guess, you know, is or like depression that's not linked to any negative news, and then ketamine is helpful for getting one out of a negative frame of mind.
Well, listen,
I in fact, I generally, obviously I'm not a doctor, but I would say if someone has depression issues, they should consider talking to their doctor about ketamine instead of SSRIs.
Listen,
Don Lemon is going to walk away looking so bad. I mean, we're 20 minutes in, and Don Lemon looks absolutely terrible right now.
I think that ketamine and drug therapy is increasingly becoming more in the mainstream.
Yeah.
Do you think you're doing it under a doctor's care, right?
Yeah. Literally a prescription from a real doctor, not like, you know.
Yeah, but do you feel like you ever abuse it?
I don't think so. If you use too much ketamine, you can't really get work done. So I have a lot of work. So I'm typically putting in 16-hour days. That's normal for me, and it's rare for me to even take off a weekend day. So I don't really have a situation where I can be not mentally acute for an extended period of time. Like I can't really get wasted because I can't get my work done.
So how often do you take it?
Well, it'd be like a small amount once every other week or something like that.
But there's not on the bottle where it says take this dose this many times a week or whatever. If it's not a doctor's
dose. There are several weeks will go by where I don't use it.
You don't use it.
Yeah, I think it's like I said. I think what I find ketamine is if you're like literally like a chemical state in your brain that you can't just think yourself out of, then ketamine is helpful for getting you out of a depressive mind state.
You suffer from depression, or you have a depressive mind state? I asked you as someone who has suffered from depression.
I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say that I have like a case of like extended depression. It's just once in a while I get into a negative sort of chemical mind state. Once in a while, it's not a common thing, but once in a while this happens.
I really like Elon's is answering way too much. Like, he should have just shut this down. He should have been Trump's answer about the Bible. Probably both. Probably both. No, I don't want to answer that.
Where do you think that comes from?
I think it's just genetic, basically.
You think it's just genetic history?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, some people are just wired to be happy all the time. Some are unfortunately wired to be sad a lot of the time. And in my case, I'm generally pretty positive and optimistic. But once in a while, I don't know what happens. There's some, like I said, I think it's just chemical tides in your brain. Once in a while, it's like a brain storm.
Yeah. Do you ever worry that this may get in the way of your government contracts and clearances, and also and Wall Street
God.
as well?
Well, from a standpoint of Wall Street, what matters is execution. Are you building value for investors? Tesla is worth about as much as the rest of the car industry combined, from nothing. So that's pretty good. As I mentioned, we had the best-selling car on Earth last year. So from an investor standpoint, if there is something I'm taking, I should keep taking it.
Have you talk about your ketamine use and depression? Have you also have said, and
the reason I should say, the reason I mentioned the ketamine prescription on the X platform was because I thought maybe this is something that could help other people. That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah. Can we talk about the great replacement theory now? Some of the things that you post, the great replacement theory. You claim that Democrats, President Biden's immigration plan to open up the border, you said that the president is getting, and Democrats are doing it to get more votes. But undocumented immigrants cannot vote in federal elections, so how is that possible?
Right. Well, you're conflating two things. One is great replacement theory. The other is, which I don't subscribe to that. I'm simply saying that there is an incentive here. If legal immigrants, which I think have a very strong bias to, at least everything I've read, it's a very strong bias to vote Democrat. The more that come into the country, the more they're likely to vote.
Look at the rest of these topics. We got the great replacement theory. We've got content moderation, diversity, equity, and inclusion, trans rights, and the woke mind virus. Advertisers on X. Holy shit.
In that direction. But it is, in my view, a simple incentive to increase voters, Democrat voters. And yeah, so the question is like how? So there's a few ways that this works. One is that when the census is done, the census is based on all people in an area, whether they are citizens or not. So if there are a concentration of people who came here illegally in a particular state or in a particular state, that state will actually then get an increased number of House seats. So the House seat apportionment is proportionate to the number of people, not the number of citizens. So the illegals overwhelmingly go to places like California and New York, and if you just look at the math, if you look at the apportionment with and without illegals, I believe California would lose. I believe the blue state, there would be a net loss of blue states of approximately 20 seats in the House.
I feel like Elon is he's answering questions that Don Lemon doesn't want the answer to. That's really what is going on here, in my opinion. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm smarter than Elon Musk, because I'm not. Don Lemon does not care about the answers. Don Lemon is trying to get sound bites of you saying things that they can use against you in the future. That's what he's doing. And Elon is giving him way too much substance.
This also applies to the Electoral College. So you say, like, well, this also applies to electing the president, because the electoral votes are also done by apportionment the same way that House seats are done.
But the reason, Elon, the Electoral College is in place is to to balance that, so that that doesn't happen. So what you're saying about it is the exact opposite of the reason why the Electoral College is there. The Electoral College at this point, in our history, gives people who are in smaller states and red states much more of an influence over our elections than people who are in blue states, and the majority of the people in this country. That's what the Electoral College does. It actually does the exact opposite of what you're saying. It protects people who are in smaller states and protecects people who are in red states.
He's getting mad now.
Well,
the red states, because it tends to be smaller and less populous.
I think that statement is what you said is true, but what I said is also true, which is that if as is the case, a disproportionate number of legal immigrants go to blue states, they amplify the effect of a blue state vote. And the math, as I understand it, you can research this obviously very easily on there. It's pretty straightforward to research this. But my understanding is that there would be that the Democrats would lose approximately 20 seats in the House if illegals were not counted in the census, and that's also 20 less electoral votes for president. So,
by the way, quick story, real quick. Now, I don't know if maybe I'm just when I'm out and about. I mean, I generally dress the same way here. I'll throw a different shirt on or something, but I just kind of go out in public. I'm at Walmart today, all by myself. I'm at the cash register at the self-checkout. Okay, this guy just comes walking up to me, picks up this newspaper that's at the news stand right there at the checkout, looks at the paper, and it was something to do with illegal immigration. All right, that was the front page. Something to do with illegal immigration. He looks at me and he goes, "If these sons of bitches are going to do it in their own country, what the fuck you think they're going to do in ours? I'm tired of this bullshit." And he slammed the paper down and walked out. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I was like, do I just look like a Trump supporter? It's not like I was wearing a MAGA hat. He just said it and walked out. He wasn't looking for a conversation. He didn't know who I was. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. It was so funny.
Absolutely do affect the who controls the House and who controls the presidency. It does not affect the Senate.
Yeah. In blue states, you're talking about. I don't believe that your information on that is right. So listen, let's talk more about the Great Replacement, because the first time that you posted on X about this Jewish conspiracy, you ended up apologizing.
I didn't call it a conspiracy. I just said that there's a simple matter of incentives. You don't need a conspiracy when you have basic incentives. In my view, there's a basic incentive that is fundamental that for the Democrat Party to foster and usher in a large number of illegals. Yeah. And you don't need a conspiracy in that case, because you have a very basic incentive. You could say I'm wrong about that incentive, but that's my view. I'm not buying into some great replacement theory. I'm simply saying there appears to be a very clear incentive for Democrats to maximize the number of illegals because it helps them win elections.
I'm talking about the Great Replacement theory is also part of a Jewish conspiracy theory. And when you did the tweet, or you responded to the tweet about that, you ended up apologizing, and which I think is, it's good that you ended up apologizing. You went to Auschwitz with Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Right? So you said you learned your lesson. What did you learn?
I said I learned my lesson.
You said you learned your lesson when you apologized, and you said you went to Auschwitz. You saw what.
No, I was already aware of these things, and the nature of my comment that really inflamed people. What I was trying to say, and I did very quickly clarify. This is what I'm saying: is that a number of prominent Jewish philanthropists fund groups that they should really take a closer look at funding, because some of the groups they fund, I think, are anti-Semitic.
Yeah. Do you understand the connection between the two? There's a connection between, you said Democrats, the Great Replacement theory, but when it comes to the actual Great Replacement theory, originally.
This is not an interview. This is an interrogation. I just want everybody to understand that it's not a fucking interview.
It started about Jewish people, as you said, flooding in the country, and then now people are using it for Democrats, saying the same thing about Democrats, flooding.
In my view, it's a simple matter of incentives.
Yeah.
I actually don't see an incentive for Jewish people to want to have illegal immigration. I don't think there is such an incentive.
The Great Replacement theory is a neo-Nazi trope It's in the Neo-Nazi Manifesto. It's in the Turner Diaries. It's referenced by the Buffalo mass shooter in his manifesto, where 10 people, black people, were murdered in Buffalo. There's the actual title of the Christchurch Shooters Manifesto. 51 people in the Muslim mosque were murdered. 23 people murdered in El Paso by a shooter who used the same language that you use in that manifesto when you say Hispanic invasion. Is that not?
I didn't say an Hispanic invasion.
And you quoted a tweet that called it a Hispanic invasion.
If I quote something, it doesn't mean I agree with everything in it. It's just something that I think this is something worth people should consider.
Why would you quote something that you didn't believe?
Because anything I quote is going to have a whole range of statements. Doesn't mean I agree with everything in it.
Do you think if
Unbelievable. Thank you, Dom, for the 10 gifted memberships. We always appreciate seeing those gifted memberships flying.
If you moderated yourself more, if there was better content moderation on the platform, that you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the great replacement theory as it relates to
I don't have to
Democrats,
answer these questions.
the great replacement theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
So you don't think? Do you think that you wouldn't get in trouble, or you wouldn't be criticized for these things?
I'm criticized constantly. I could care less.
You don't care?
No, I don't.
Why
care.
not?
I don't think people should care what the media thinks about them. They're terrible judges of character.
Even someone who has one of the biggest social media and biggest information platforms in the world, you don't care? You don't think that you have any X.com or you have any responsibility to the truth or moderating the platform?
You're conflating the truth with the media, and I think the media is not truthful.
Well, not with just the media. I mean, just the truth in general.
I care about the truth very much. That's why we have, for example, community notes on the X system, where in order for a community note to surface and provide corrective information about what somebody posts, and my posts are equally subject to this. I've been community noted many times. In order for a community note to surface, people who have historically disagreed must agree in order for a community note to surface. And all of the code for community notes is open source. All of the data is open source, so you can completely recreate it from scratch. The way to build trust is transparency.
I have noticed community notes. I think that you are right about that, and I do think community notes are helpful. I think any type of content moderation, I do think that's helpful. You recently called content moderation, though, a digital chastity belt. Do you think that you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform?
Oh my God.
I think we have a responsibility to adhere to the law, and we have a responsibility to be transparent about when things are shown, why.
What you should have said right there, Elon, is, Don, can you explain what hate speech is? Can you please just tell me what your definition of hate speech is? Do you think anti-white comments are hate speech? Do you think talking about doing horrible things to Donald Trump is hate speech? Just curious where you stand, Don. I would love to know where you stand on that, Don.
They're shown, so that's why we open source our algorithm. I think once you start going beyond the law, now you're putting your thumb on the scale. And we don't want to put our thumb on the scale.
It doesn't concern you that hate speech has gone. Research shows that it's gone up on the platform since you took over. That's not concerning to you?
I believe that is false. In fact, the research that I've seen says it went down.
The study from the Institute of Strategic Dialogue found that anti-Semitic tweets doubled from June 22 to February 2023. One study reported that as many as 86% of the posts reported for hateful content remained up after being reported. Hate speech on the platform is up.
So what they will typically do is they will count the number of posts, but not count the number of views. So what matters is, was that post given high visibility, or what did like one person see it? And if you look at the number of views of how many times was hate content viewed on our platform, it is down substantially.
Yeah. Well, that's not was.
I don't think that's a great
answer. You said
answer.
you like transparency. I'm going to show you this, and
Don, you can get a study that will tell you whatever you want.
But these are just a handful of extremely. If you look at those anti-Semitic and racist tropes and tweets, and as of this morning, they're still on X. And from your own content policy, these posts should have been deleted. So why haven't they been deleted? Why are they still there? Did you?
We delete things if they are illegal.
Memes?
These have been up there for a while.
Are they illegal?
No, they're not illegal, but they're hateful, and they can lead to violence. As I just read to you, the shooters, in all of these mass shootings, attributed social media.
Their examples were memes. That's the worst they can find are some memes.
To radicalizing.
So Don, you love censorship, is what you're saying?
No, I don't love censorship.
Then why are you asking?
I believe in moderation, but I don't believe in
censorship. Moderation is a propaganda word for censorship.
But don't you think free speech is one thing, right? Or not,
Look, if something's illegal, we're going to take it down. If it's not illegal, then we're putting our thumb on the scale and we're being censors.
You're putting your thumb on the scale for moderating hate speech. I mean, you don't put
Ask him to define hate speech.
That's not.
It's illegal.
Some people would say that's considered censorship. I'm just saying, you.
No, I literally, Don, I literally said, if something is legal, okay, we will obviously remove it.
Okay.
But if it is not legal, the laws in this country are put forward by the citizens. We're a democracy. If those laws are put in place by the people, we adhere to those laws.
Okay.
Wasn't there something where Elon, weren't they going to do something with the porn on Twitter? I hate seeing I hate it. I wish it was not. I don't think that I don't think porn should be on social media. Not an open platform like that. That's I'm not like not saying it can't exist. I don't give a shit about that. I'm not one of those people. But I don't want it to be on Twitter. I don't want it to be on Facebook. I don't want it to be on Instagram. I think it should be that should be 1000% for the specific website that it's supposed to be on. Should not be on Twitter at all. I fucking hate it.
I agree.
Of others. If you go beyond the law, you're actually going beyond the will of the people.
Okay, agreed with the law. But if you are doing something that promotes hate and violence and ultimately leads to killing, you don't feel you have any responsibility?
So wait a minute. You want to talk about responsibility? So who's responsible for the killing when it happens? The person that did the killing or some random person that posted a fucking meme? Are you like, oh, I can't stand people on the left and their crazy ideology. These far left weirdos out there, they just, the people that do the crime are the ones responsible for the crime. Nobody else. Nobody else is responsible for that. The person that committed the act is the person that's responsible for the act. Good Lord.
Ability not to do that? When the people who are doing it admittedly are saying
there's articles all the time that lead to violence and killing. Don't they? Shouldn't they? Like you're applying a differential standard to.
But that would never be in mainstream media. These types of images, that type of language, those things would never be. We'd never, when I was in mainstream media, we'd never promote things that would be anti-Semitic. We would never promote things that would.
Anti-Semitic either.
Did you not see those?
You said promote. If content is on the platform, that doesn't mean we promote it.
But that wouldn't be on a platform for mainstream media at all.
So yeah, but I personally don't like that rule either. Now again, if Elon sits there and just says like, "Hey, I'm the owner of Twitter or X, and I have my own way of the way I would like to do things, but at the end of the day, I'm still working with other companies. I'm still working with Apple. I'm working with Google. I'm working with different advertisers. And so there's certain things that we're going to work with other companies on. And as much as I want to have this to be a complete free speech platform, there's some things I'm going to have to play ball on, and I totally understand that. Instead, he says, well, we allow free speech, but we're just going to deboost it. Well, who makes the determination of what you deboost and what you don't deboost? How about if it's on the platform, you shouldn't be deboosting anything, because then it turns into that is censorship. You can, I love you, Elon, okay? But hurting the visibility of something based on your random interpretation of what hate speech is, that is censorship. So just call it what it is. Again, I don't care if that's what you're doing, but call it what it is, because that's what it is.
No, but you can think of that. That's because the mainstream media has like, whatever, 20 articles a day. We have 500 million posts today.
Okay,
500
understood.
million.
Does it bother you? How do you feel about that when you see it?
I obviously disagree with that. I think it's not good at all. It's terrible.
But you don't want to get rid of it on the platform, or at least moderate it.
The rules, what you're suggesting is censorship that goes beyond the law. And what I'm saying is I guess have a disagreement, because I do not believe in censorship that goes beyond the law, and you do. We have a difference of opinion in that regard.
I understand that, but these are your own rules on your own platform. These go against the rules on your platform. That's why I'm asking you. If you said, listen, we allow everything, but that's not what your content rules.
Has this dude ever wanted to sit down and talk? You think he would talk to Mark Zuckerberg like this? Do you think he would? Do you think he would have talked to Jack Dorsey like this if he had Jack Dorsey? Even when Joe Rogan had Jack Dorsey on, now, credit to Tim Pool. Tim Pool kind of roasted Jack Dorsey. He absolutely did. But it wasn't Tim Pool's show. It was Joe Rogan's show. And Joe Rogan didn't go that hard on Jack Dorsey. Tim Pool did. But in Joe Rogan on his own show, he didn't treat that Jack Dorsey like this.
Rules say. And that's why I'm asking you, why are they still there? Your own content policy. That's why I'm asking you that, not because...
Which part of our content policy says that we should delete these things?
Your content policy talks about hate speech.
Yes, we don't promote hate speech.
And so you don't consider that hate speech?
I guess you're not understanding what I'm saying. There's if there's you can find, like, you can sign up right now and do 100 things that are hateful. But if nobody reads it, it doesn't matter. So you can think of X as being, it's much like the internet. It's not some tiny publication with like 20 articles a day. It's 500 million.
But everyone has the opportunity to read it, Elon.
Everyone has the opportunity to read the internet. Are you suggesting we should shut down the internet?
No, but you don't own the internet. I'm asking you about you and your responsibility and your platform. And so I see how you feel now. You don't agree. We don't agree on this.
Yes, you want censorship and I don't.
No, I don't want censorship at all.
Yes, you do.
No,
yes, you
I
do.
want responsibility. I think
You desperately want censorship.
No, if I want a censorship...
You want censorship so bad you can taste it.
No, that's not true. It's not true. I think that there's right and wrong. And I think that,
you want censorship.
and I think that when you have a platform that's as big as yours and as powerful as yours and as influential as yours, and you are a person of consequence to the world with what you do, that there is a certain responsibility that goes along with what you have on your platform and what you put out to the world. And I think that's important. You don't see that responsibility?
I think we have a responsibility to adhere to the law, and if people want the law changed, they should talk to their elected representative and get the law changed, and then we will adhere to the law.
Okay.
But if you want us to go beyond the law, that is us deciding to be censors. And I'm against censorship. I'm in favor of freedom of speech.
Yeah. And
freedom of speech only is relevant when people you don't like say things you don't like. Otherwise, it has no meaning.
But I do think that there should be guardrails, and I believe in free speech as much as you. I would fight. I don't disagree.
Fucking liar, Don Lemon. You are a liar. You are the biggest liar on the planet. Well, you're not as big of a liar as Chris Cuomo, but you are a massive liar.
I don't agree with a lot of what you put out on social media, but I will fight for your right to be able to say it.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, so listen, let's talk about
Elon's
diversity,
getting
equity,
mad.
and inclusion.
Oh,
right?
boy.
That's been a target of yours lately on X.
Here we go.
There was a repost of
DEI.
Ben Shapiro that you claim that DEI is killing people. Specifically, you point to medicine. You claim that DEI programs are putting people at risk. Do you really believe this to be true? And what evidence do you have to support it?
What I was referring to there was that if we lower the standards for doctors, so that they, if the test for a doctor is lowered, then the probability of them making a mistake and killing someone is obviously going to be higher.
Wait, say that again. I'm not sure I understand what you said. I want to make sure I understand what you're saying.
Yes, if the standards for passing medical exams and becoming a doctor, or especially something like a surgeon, if the standards are lowered, then the probability that the surgeon will make a mistake is higher. They're making mistakes in their exam. They may make mistakes with people.
Yes. So what he's saying is that when you are lowering the threshold of entry into these fields, then yes, you are putting people's lives at risk, much like the airline industry right now and what we're seeing. And that is a DEI initiative. DEI is all about lowering the threshold of entry so that you can get more. And this is from DEI standards, so that you can get more diversity. So DEI is saying that they have to lower the standards in order to get the diversity in the door.
And that may result in people dying.
What evidence do you have, though, that they're lowering the standards? There's no evidence of that.
What?
I believe there is.
Yes, there is.
There's no evidence of that, Elon. What is the evidence?
I believe they have literally lowered the standards at Duke University, and that is what the article was referring to.
There's no evidence.
Saying they have not lowered the standards?
There's no evidence about lowering standards, and I think that there is.
I believe that is a false statement you're making.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I think
the interesting thing is, when this is posted on the X platform, there will be a whole bunch of things that rebut what you said and what I said.
Correct.
And so people can then make their own decision based on the replies and the rebuttals and the community notes.
I think that's fair. But I do think that on this particular topic, I do think that you and Ben Shapiro are reaching in about this, because there was what Ben posted said that he gave instances of people who were deliberately harming people. Nowhere in the thread does Ben suggest at all, I should say, that anyone is being killed as a result of DEI. That's purely speculative. There's research on DEI and medicine, and there's no evidence that standards are being lowered, that DEI is affecting medicine. Actually, only 5% of doctors are black, and a small percent.
Yeah, well, I think you'll find that when this is posted to the X platform, that people will reply to it with evidence.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see.
Okay. So, but that's my whole thing about moderation. Maybe you're wrong, but you'll put it out there. You don't know if it's right. Do you think that your responsibility to make sure something is right before you, the person who owns?
You couldn't back up when you told him that it wasn't wrong, and he's like, it literally is what they said. And you said, well, we'll see. You put it out there. Those the priests allowed us have the most to hide every single time. Every single time.
Elon Musk is a huge figure in the world, that you should know that it's true, that there are people at X who can get research for you before you put something out there like that. That's not necessarily true, even in other examples.
If I say something that is inaccurate, I'm immediately corrected on the platform. That's the advantage of a real-time system like X. So there will be immediately in the replies people correcting me. There will be a community note that will correct me, which is attached to the actual post itself.
Do you think as many people read
Yes.
You think as many people read that as it reads your tweet?
Yes, in fact, and if there's a community note that happens later that where somebody didn't see, but they replied to that, or interacted with that post, we will notify them that there is now a community note correcting that post.
Mm-hmm. Just so you.
Whereas if you consider the conventional media, that doesn't happen. Conventional media makes false statements all the time and nobody ever hears the correction.
That's right.
When I was in conventional media, I can only speak for myself. If I got something wrong, if someone got something wrong on the platform that I was on, it was corrected, and we made sure that it was corrected. Now, I can't speak for anyone else.
I don't think that's a universal situation.
Okay. So I just the research. So when you talk, do you believe that people are dying because medical standards, DEI is causing medical standards to be lowered? Do you actually believe people are dying because of that?
I believe that
that's what's going to happen.
If we lower the standards for what it takes to become a doctor.
You're saying if we lower the standards,
Yes.
but do you believe people are dying because the standards are being lowered?
I don't think that is an issue, but it could become an issue.
Yes, he's saying it. Yes.
Okay. But the actual evidence in history shows the exact opposite. If you look at how minorities are treated by the medical system, most doctors now are white, and there are lots of mistakes in medicine. So you're saying that white doctors have bad medical care? I'm trying to understand your logic here when it comes to DEI, because there's no actual evidence of what you're.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. What the fuck are we watching right now? What is happening? What is happening? I cannot believe how fucking stupid Don Lemon is. This is incredible. One more time. I got to back that up. That was amazingly insane.
Most doctors now are white. And there are lots of mistakes in medicine. So you're saying that white doctors have bad medical care? I'm trying to understand your logic here when it comes to DEI, because there's no actual evidence of what you're saying.
No, I said, so if the standards, like let's say, I think that particular thing was referring to surgeons. Let's say a surgeon is asked to, a surgeon in training is asked to do a series of operations under the supervision of a senior surgeon, and they get a bunch of those operations wrong. If that happens, and if they are still approved to be a surgeon, the probability that someone will die, I think, at some point is high.
Okay, I understand that, but that's a hypothetical. That doesn't mean it's happening.
I didn't say it's happening.
He literally
you didn't say it was happening.
I said it will. I said if we lower standards, people will die.
And he's right.
But why respond to something or put something out there that has not happened? Because I could say,
because I don't want it to happen. I think we don't want to lower standards.
Okay, if you look at the history of the medical industry, especially when it comes to Black Americans, it shows the exact opposite. If you look at the Tuskegee experiment and on, only 5% of doctors in America are Black. All of them are white. So are you saying that if the majority of doctors are white, are you saying that and there are still these inequities, right? And there's still mistakes. Are you blaming DEI for that?
No, I'm very basically saying that if we lower standards for what it takes to become a board-certified surgeon, or an oncologist, or something where the kind of disease we're talking about, if you make a mistake, causes someone to die, then more people will die than if we don't lower the standard.
It makes so much sense from all you don't need to be that smart to understand what Elon Musk is saying, but what we're witnessing right here is the woke mind virus, and how Don Lemon, he's not even looking for an answer. He's not looking for an answer. He's looking to be, he's looking to make Elon say something that can be used against him, but he's not. This is the definition of bad faith. Everything that Don Lemon is doing is bad faith. This is all meant to get you to trip up and say something. I'll be honest, Elon's to blame for this. Like, you should have never given him the fucking opportunity. Like, there's a lot of people that you could have given a platform to interview you. You should have never given Don Lemon this opportunity, because he was never coming in this to get an interview with you. This was an interrogation, and this was an opportunity to ask you loaded questions so that it could be used against you out of context. And he got everything he wanted, by the way.
Therefore, we should not lower the standards.
But why do you think they're lowering the standards for minority doctors or women doctors, or?
That's what that's what that article suggested. Yes, at Duke University.
Okay. The evidence that I have shows that that's not true.
Okay.
So listen, after the door blew off this mid-flight in this Alaskan Airlines flight, do you remember that? You responded to a post claiming that the average HBCU grad was less intelligent than the average airline pilot. And stated that it will take an airplane crashing and killing hundreds of people for them to change this crazy policy of DIE. I don't know if did you misspell it on purpose, which it should be DEI. Do you believe that women and minority pilots are inherently less intelligent and less skilled than white male pilots?
No, I'm just saying that we should not lower the standards for them.
Okay. But there's no evidence that standards are being lowered when it comes to the airline industry.
You've repeatedly said that there's no evidence that standards are being lowered, and watch the replies showing all the evidence that it is.
Replies, though, on social media or on Twitter are not necessarily fact and evidence.
No,
that's people's opinion.
They will cite
okay.
In the replies to this, you will see how often.
Okay, I love how Elon is basically like, yo, the internet will take care of this. I love that. I love that Elon's like, the internet's got you, bro. The internet's got you. And yes, he's 100% right.
The information is cited showing that indeed there are significant cases where standards are lowered.
And I do hope that happens. I do hope that happens, and I look forward to it. And as you said, if you're wrong, then you're wrong, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong.
Yes.
Okay, so and I'm glad.
Don Lemon, you're the one coming at this from a standpoint of you can't say things that are wrong. You're actively admitting you don't even know the answer because you're not interested in the answer. You're interested in the sound.
We're having this conversation, debating. This is what we should be doing, debating the issue. So if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and then they'll be proven in the thing, and you as well. But I just want to tell you that pilot that you talked about, in fact, was a woman pilot, landed the plane safely, despite the major malfunction with the equipment. Boeing has taken responsibility for that incident, saying that it was caused by a faulty door panel. So I'm not sure what that had to do with lowering the standards for pilots when it was a faulty.
No, it's not lowering standards for pilots. It's the incentive structure. I believe at Boeing changed to include DEI as a fundamental executive incentive. But in my view, it should be purely about passenger safety.
Okay, but do you understand?
These things are really, and again, I've been doing this so long now on the whole culture or whatever you want to call it from the internet standpoint. Like these things are so easy to answer because I've heard all of the talking points from the mainstream media and all of that about the gotcha questions and all of that. You just have to keep it as simple as you can, because this is all meant to make him say something that can be used against him. That's all this is. That's all it is.
And how by saying just that standards are being lowered, that you're implying that they're being lowered because people are less skilled and less intelligent, and you're talking about people of color and or women.
Look, I'm saying we should not lower standards.
But you don't?
That's it.
That's it?
I think everyone can agree that you shouldn't lower standards.
Well, then what are we talking about?
Right.
But you're implying that they're lowering standards because of people of color or women, because someone is not a white male. You're saying that they're less skilled and less intelligent. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying that they are.
Then why would they be lowering the standards?
I don't know. Why are they lowering the standards?
Just so you know, 5% of pilots are female, 4% are black. So you're talking about this widespread takeover of minorities and women when that's not actually true.
I'm not saying there's a widespread takeover.
Well, you're saying that the standards are being lowered because of certain people. And you don't believe in DEI, right? Do you not believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion?
I think we should be treat people according to their skills and their integrity, and that's it.
Do you know that studies show?
The way you should fire that back to Don and go, I think people should be hired on their skill and their integrity. Don, do you think women and minorities have less skill and integrity than white people? And Don will go, well, no. And I'm like, okay, then we have no problem, right? That's it. We have no problem. Unless you think that Don, do you think women and minorities have less integrity and skill than white people? Are you saying, you have to flip it, are you saying, Don, that women and black people have less integrity?
Yeah, well, we can look them up. So your reaction to studies show, and I understand, right? Because I always like to point to an exact study, right?
Sure.
Something that is factual. It's the same thing when you talk about, well, let's see what the replies are on Twitter or on X.
Yeah, so
I feel the same. I feel the same way about that. But this is what studies have shown, and people will reply and they'll say that companies with more diversity in their leadership teams have reported higher innovation rates than those with lower diversity or low diversity, and they're better companies and they make more money. This whole idea about DEI, if you go woke or whatever, you go broke, that's not necessarily true. People with diverse leadership teams and diverse workers make more money and more innovative.
Like I said, my view is that the only basis for promoting somebody should be their skills, talents, and their integrity, and that's it.
I want to ask you about, there's a federal government, EEOC, they are also currently involved in a lawsuit against Tesla that alleges that there's a history of widespread racial harassment against black Tesla employees, as well as a pattern of retaliation for speaking out.
Don, wait, Did you say black Tesla employees, Don? You mean we hire black people? Wow. News to me. How did we hire black people? Why would we do that? You're saying I'm racist.
What do you say to that?
I don't believe that is true. I think we've got a very good, like if you walk around the Tesla Fremont plant, I think it's a very good atmosphere. In fact, I practically lived there for 3 years trying to make the production work.
Were you aware, if you lived there, were you aware of such behavior?
I never saw it.
So you're saying that this is not true, it's not happening?
Well, I mean, there's over 20,000 people. So you say like,
Okay, so Elon answered it in the best way possible, and then Don Lemon's response was to try to say, you're saying this isn't true, when I guess there's an active investigation going on. That way they can get Elon to say it's not true. And then if it gets turned out that it is true, or they find somebody to be guilty, then they can use that against Elon. That's all this is. And again, Elon Musk is to blame for this interview. He should have never taken this fucking interview. Just like when Patrick, I'm saying this from experience, okay? Shout out Zack Snyder. You know, I should have never had Zack Snyder on a fucking live stream. I learned from experience, okay? There's just certain people. Why do you think I'm not asking to have Matt Walsh on Geeks and Gamers or anything like that, okay? I had a conversation with him to kind of bury the hatchet and come to a common understanding. At no point in time did I ask Matt Walsh to come on, Geeks and Gamers, and talk with me. No, fuck that. I'm not interested in talking with him on my platform. So, yeah, like you learn through all of this. And so Elon Musk should have never given this interview to Don Lemon. Patrick Bet-David should have never hired Chris Cuomo. He'll find out in time.
If there's over 20,000 people in one building, well, is everyone going to behave publicly? No. Did I see any situations that I thought were improper? I did not.
Let's talk about trans rights and the woke mind virus, because
oh my God, trans rights and the woke mind virus. We will come right back to that. I just want to catch a couple of these super chats. I apologize. I'm a little behind on them, and I apologize for being a little behind. Hayden Wayne for 50 says, I'm not saying I want to, but if a meteor was just the right size as the magnesium and other elements burned up as it entered the atmosphere, and it ended up being the size of a pea and hit somebody as it fell, I have a preference. I don't know. Yeah. I know you're not saying anything, Hayden Wayne. And then Hayden for 20 says, remember chat, Jeremy, deboost is the comfy word for government and social media corpos invented shadow ban when Dorsey still owned Twitter. 100%. And then Hayden Wayne says, Don Lemon believes in guardrails for free speech. Sounds like he plays Mario Kart with bumpers on or plays games in journo mode. Remember, you think you hate journalists and politicians, but you don't hate them enough. Well said. Elsid Barrett for 20. The mainstream media would never report on something that could lead to violence. Where did the fiery but mostly peaceful protests come from? Exactly. Hayden Wayne says, Don Lemon refuses to even acknowledge lower standards is a bad thing. Don't lower standards. That's a hard line in the sand right there. Lowering standards is a bad thing. End of discussion. Ryan's Egyptian ancestor for 20 says, there are many examples of Don Lemon doing hate speech in the past, including saying white men were the biggest threat in the country of 2018. He doesn't care about protecting people, only censoring those he disagrees with. Absolutely. I can't believe how bad this interview is. I mean, this is a really bad interview. I mean, it really is legendarily bad. Legendarily bad. And we've still got the trans and woke mind virus segment and then advertisers on X. I'm really interested to see how this segment goes right here.
You've talked about that a lot. You're right about that a lot on the thing. You have been deeply outspoken about the issue of trans rights. You posted trans rights. You posted that pronouns and bio mean the woke mind virus ate your brain. Do you know what the term woke actually means?
It's come to mean a lot of things.
But what originally it was meant.
It's originally African.
It's just being aware of inequities
Elon's
in society
African.
and being aware of facts and history.
Yeah, I think it's come to be. I think being aware of inequities in society is fine, of course. But trying to blame everything on trying to make everything a race issue is, I think, divisive and corrosive to society.
Even as it relates to trans issues, which is what I'm...
Yeah, race or, gender or whatever.
You think that society blames everything on racism now?
Yes.
It blames a lot of things on it, and yeah.
You think that's unfair?
Yeah.
Why?
I think we should not make this a constant subject. I think we need to move on.
If I'm asked what to define woke or what's an example of woke is anyone that defines other people based off sex, race, gender, sexual orientation. Those are not qualities that you should be judging other human beings on. In any capacity in life whatsoever. That shouldn't be who you're friends with. It shouldn't be who you hire. It shouldn't be who we cast in movies. It shouldn't be who we put in video games. It should have literally nothing to do with making decisions in life based on anything that has anything to do with their identity. Nothing. And when you hire people or consider people based on the quality of their work ethic or the quality of their character, then that's how you should be judging people. But if your entire existence surrounds sexual identity, sexual preference, race, all these things, pronouns and bio, all that shit, you're a woke freak.
I think we just, treat people like people.
You don't agree that this country was founded on racism and founded on slavery and in many ways inequities? That still continue on to this day?
I think every country at that time, and I think even today, was extremely racist. Every country. Obviously, slavery was present in about half of this country. But was not present in the North. There was racism for sure. I think we want to look to the future rather than the past. Instead of engaging in constant rehashing of the past, because in fact, if you look at history, if you study history broadly, everyone was a slave. Everyone.
Yes. Well, not everyone was a slave.
No, everyone was a slave.
Okay, but
we are all descended from slaves.
Yeah.
Well, all of us.
Yeah.
It's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent?
He just crushed him. And he had nothing. He could not respond.
Because in fact, if you look at history, if you study history broadly, everyone was a slave. Everyone.
Yes. Well, not everyone was a slave.
No, everyone was a slave.
Okay, but
we are all descended from slaves.
Yeah.
Well, all of us.
Yeah.
It's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
But what future do we want? Is this something we want to make part of our constant dialogue forever, or do we want to say, like, let's just move on and treat everyone, according to just who they are as an individual?
I agree with you with that. That's the ideal. But what the evidence shows is that that's not what's actually in practice.
I think we're doing better than anywhere else.
That's true. I agree with that. But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean a lot to a whole lot of people who aren't able to take advantage of the opportunities that you were able to take advantage of.
So the proper question here for Don Lemon is like, Don, when do you think race relations were better? Do you think they were better in the 90s than they were in the Obama administration? Do you think race relations were good under the Obama administration? I'm just curious what you think about that. That would be a great question for Don Lemon to have to answer, because again, this is not an interview. This is an interrogation.
Simply because the color of your skin.
What advantages did my color of my skin give me?
Well, there's an ease that you have in society that many people of color don't. You were able to come to this country voluntarily. There are many people who were not able to come to the country voluntarily. There are people who came here as slaves.
It's very difficult for me to come here.
And there is a legacy of slavery that still continues on. There's a legacy of racism that still continues on in this country. That's undeniable.
Well, if we keep talking about it nonstop, it will never go away. If we keep making that the central thing, it will never go away.
Well, why do you believe that?
I think I'm just making a simple statement of fact.
Hey, you know what though? You gotta give Don Lemon credit, okay? I mean, Don Lemon thinks that Elon Musk has advantages, okay? Because he's a white guy. All right? And if anybody would know, it would be Don Lemon, who has his boyfriend right here, you know? Because Don Lemon knows, man, those white guys, man. Yeah. That's his boyfriend right there. Oh man, those white guys, man, they have it real easy in life. So why didn't you go for a black guy, Don? Why didn't you go for a black guy, Don? Just curious about that, Don. It's almost like you're, it's almost like you what? Don Lemon's such a garbage human being.
So I think we want to get away.
If anybody wants to know if streaming is difficult, it's not until you have to search gay pictures of Don Lemon and his boyfriend. And that's in my search history because I didn't even have a chance to go incognito, which really doesn't mean anything anyway. So now in my search history, I have Don Lemon and his gay boyfriend in my search history. Send super chats to help me overcome the pain and the suffering that I have gone through. Because it's almost like a disease now. Like for the rest of probably my entire internet history, I'm going to have something linked to where I searched out Don Lemon and his gay boyfriend in my search history. RIP to my browser history. Shit.
Away from making everything a race or a gender or whatever issue. And just treat people like individuals.
Do you have any desire to understand what many people of color and even trans people, how they feel about this country and how they're treated in this country? If they say and they believe that they are treated a certain way in this country, why don't you believe them?
You cannot have a situation where someone is a self-described victim and they just get to be that because that's how they feel.
I think that does happen in some cases, but not all cases. And I think that not understanding the history of the country, I think, is a real shame. Look,
we should understand the history of the country and other countries.
I've had incredible opportunities as a person of color.
Right.
But I've also been
very well.
But I've also been discriminated against, and I know that I have. And I know that that's real. And for someone to say that that isn't happening, I should just move forward and not think about that and ignore the past is insulting.
I'm not saying it. Don, you keep putting words in my mouth. I'm not saying it's
I didn't say that you said it.
I'm saying that we want to.
Then why the fuck are you asking him to answer for it? Why does he need to answer for something he didn't say? Why is it his responsibility? It's like the other day, and this goes for everybody, okay? Like everybody. I had people like in my mentions yesterday, like, well, Jeremy, I'm not going to forgive Matt Walsh. I didn't say you had to forgive Matt Walsh. Well, what's he got to say about this? Is he going to apologize for what? I don't know. Ask him. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm just telling you I talked to him and we cleared the air. You can still fucking hate his guts. You can still tell him to go fuck himself. I don't care. He ain't got shit to do with me. And he's like asking like, well, hey, I didn't say those things. Well, I know you didn't. What the fuck are you asking me about it?
We should move beyond questions of race and gender, and we should treat people like individuals and base our opinions on them on the, their
No, Blue-Eyed Scorpio, I never take you seriously.
Their character and their skills.
I don't think that anyone will disagree with that.
Exactly.
All I'm saying is that that's not happening and is not equal for everyone. That those opportunities don't happen for everyone, and I am a living example.
Yeah, I agree with that. How many parents are in the chat? Okay, how many parents are in the chat? Regardless, I don't care. I'm going to assume that there's some white parents and black parents. There's probably some mixed races. Okay, how many? All right, how many parents are in the chat? Now, of those parents, okay, how many of you and how many of your kids are going to have a better opportunity in life than LeBron James' kids? 0. LeBron James' kids are going to have infinitely better opportunities in life than anyone else's kids. Is it because he's black or is it because he's successful? It's because he's successful, and now his kids, who are also black, are going to have significantly better opportunities in life because their father was a success. That's it. That's it. Race doesn't matter in that equation. Not even. And people are going to go, well, that's just one example. There's plenty of examples, okay? I don't know if Jay-Z and Beyonce have kids. Think their kids are going to want for anything in life? You think, I was about to make a joke, but I'm not. I'm not. Yes, I am going to make the joke. I'm going to make the fucking joke. The Obama kids, do you think they want for anything in life? Besides a biological woman in their life? All right, I'm stopping now. All right, let me read super chats really quick, and then we'll get back to it. All right. All right, anyway, Willie Will. All right, Willie Will for a proper 199. Thank you, Willie Will. Thank you, Willie Will, for helping offset the tough streaming search history I have. Disco Cobra for 50 says, trying to figure out how you do your streams. Looks like you have an animated overlay with some transitions on OBS or whatever you use. I'm not sure how to use transitions on these services. Got the CobraCast down below and the 199 up top. Legit. Yeah, so OBS, for someone that's not super experienced with OBS, is very overwhelming in the beginning, but it's actually super easy to figure out. But yeah, so I mean, essentially, Jay Hellstorm does a lot of my graphics and stuff like that for me. But yeah, it's just overlays and things like that. And it's all about just positioning and having scene transitions and things like that. But that's all it is. That's all it is. But I just look up basic things on OBS, and I promise you, after a few times of going through it, you'll have it down. It's just at first, OBS seems to be very overwhelming, and it's really very easy once you start learning it. Hayden Wayne for 50 says, since Donnie wants to talk about slaves, I have a 30-second video I'm throwing into CobraCast Discord. Jeremy, it should be safe to play on YouTube. It's on YouTube, and a YouTuber uses it occasionally, so it may be worth a play. All right, Hayden. Eric, if you can drop that in the CobraCast chat for me, I'll check it out. Drew and Charlie says 10 out of 100 people in my city are black. So 10 out of 100 medical students are black. Now the hospitals say they need 100 doctors, 50% must be black, but only 10 out of 100 are black. But you need 50 standards. Yeah, as long as we as a society are, the gamer talk, but as long as that's going to be the central focus, we're heading down a terrible path. Identity should have zero to do with anything. And this is all because of politics. The racial division that we are facing right now is 1,000% because of politicians and mainstream media. 1,000%. Again, 90s, 2000s, if you were around in the 90s and the 2000s and even the 80s, 90s, 2000s, I'm not saying that there weren't racial tensions, because I think that that's just always something that's going to be when you have different races. There's always going to be something. But man, it ain't nothing like it is today. Today is awful. It's terrible now. There's nothing good coming from it, and they're making it worse and worse. And my prediction is that before the election, there's going to be another police brutality story. Do you think that there's not been any situations in the past couple of years with police and a black person? Do you think there's just nothing's happened? Of course they've happened. Just like they've happened with white people, just like they happen with anybody. When you're dealing with criminals, There's going to be interactions with police officers. Some of them are not going to be great, and most of them are probably going to be fine, but there's going to be some bad situations. Why have we heard of nothing? Because there was no election. And as soon as we get closer and closer, there's going to be a situation that the media is going to jump on. It's going to be shared all over social media, and it's going to create all that tension. It will happen. Trust me on that. Josh Johnson says to help with Jeremy's to help Jeremy get Don's gayness out of his mind. Please, all the money in the world will help. That's for sure. Darth Racer says, I'm much older than you, Jeremy. I spent my formative years in the 60s, 70s, and 80s living in Western Oklahoma. Thinking back, race was not an issue. Today's race hustlers are making it worse for the culture at large. 1,000%. Let's listen to the very end of this interview. We're almost there. Here we go.
That they don't. I know that they don't because I live it.
You've been incredibly successful.
I have been, in spite of it all. But I know what I know. I've experienced what I've experienced. You haven't done that. And I cannot, I don't know what it's like to be from South Africa. I don't know what it's like to be a white man. I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't know what it's like to be a Latino person. I don't know that. So I wouldn't speak for them and just say, you need to move on. That's not for me to say.
It is whenever you see a black person supporting Trump or a Latino supporting Trump or anybody that you don't have a direct connection with like that. If you see them supporting Trump, you call them out. You judge them. You say that they hate their own race. You say all of this shit, Don Lemon.
Maybe I believe that it would be great if the country could live up to that ideal. You think that everyone has the same opportunities in America, regardless of their background and ethnicity?
No, that is not. I don't know what Elon's going to say. No one has the same opportunities, period, because life is not fair. But at the end of the day, if you want to be successful in life, you're going to have to deal with some bullshit along the way. Almost everybody is going to have struggles. Now, earlier, I even talked about, LeBron kids or, Jay-Z and Beyonce, whatever. Like, let's be real. Like, do they have a different set of problems? Of course they will. And that's just reality. Like, being the kids of someone that's ultra famous is not easy. All right? And I understand that. It's not. I mean, this is why you look at the Trump kids and how they've all turned out versus all these other like billionaire kids are out doing drugs and partying and drunk and driving and having wrecks and all these kids and all this craziness, and you never hear anything about the Trumps. It's almost like Donald Trump been a pretty good dad. Almost like the Trump's a good dad, huh? So that's not to say that there isn't, problems from that perspective, but if you're judging it based on what Don Lemon and the race baiters are out there saying, well, then LeBron James kids are going to have infinitely better opportunities in life than anybody in this chat and anybody I know and anybody in my family based on the standard that Don Lemon is putting out there. But the reality of it is everybody has different struggles and different challenges and different obstacles in life. And that is just the bottom line. I'm sitting here today, right here on YouTube. And if you would have told me, or if I would have told myself or whatever, that 5, 6 years ago or whatever, if you would have told me that I have 3 channels over 100,000 subscribers, I'm hanging out with friends who have millions of subscribers, and I'm streaming to thousands of people, and my super chat numbers are in the top 20 in the country. If you would have told me that, I would have told you I would have the perfect life if that was the case. Everything would be perfect if that happened. If you would have told me that 5, 6 years ago, I would have told you there's no way. If I had that, I would never ask for anything. Well, I have that. And life ain't perfect. It ain't never going to be perfect. It's never going to be fucking perfect. It doesn't matter how good things are for you. It doesn't matter how many blessings you have. It doesn't matter how many opportunities you have. Everything that happens gives you another set of things that you're going to have to deal with. And that is life. End of discussion. Shut the fuck up, race hustlers.
Do you agree?
No, I don't think everyone has the same opportunities.
Okay. So when you talk about, let's talk about trans rights. When you decided to talk about the trans rights movement, you said that it was a woke mind virus. Why do you believe the trans rights movement is a woke mind virus? What do you mean by woke mind virus?
All right, I'll turn it to 1.5.
Woke mind virus is when you stop caring about people's skills and their integrity, and you start focusing instead on gender and race and other things that are different from that. I think the woke mind virus is fundamentally racist, fundamentally sexist, and fundamentally evil.
Okay.
And we've got a little bit more time, so you choose your question.
Okay, so, okay, thank you for that. But I would appreciate you answering these. I think it's important that we're doing this. I think it's important to the world to hear this, especially what's going on in our country. The reason I ask you, listen, there are a whole lot of things that people maybe have questions about when it comes to transgender people. Even people who are part of the LGBTQ plus community have questions about that. But if you are a free speech absolutist, right, and that is part of the First Amendment, also the freedom of expression falls under that First Amendment as well. So why can't people choose to identify with the gender that they feel comfortable with, or with use a pronoun? Isn't that part of freedom of expression?
I guess no. They can ask others to do whatever they feel. They can ask others to do anything. It's a different question whether they mandate that others do anything.
Okay. Let's talk more about free speech and for advertisers, right? Because all this controversy, I believe, as you know, has made X less appealing to advertisers. About half of them have left the platform. You call advertisers that left X.com. You said they were oppressors. You've even gone as far as saying publicly that they can go F themselves or go fuck themselves.
If they're going to force censorship on the company before advertising, then obviously I find that unacceptable.
You find it unacceptable. Why is that not a form of free speech? They are free to advertise where they want. They're not beholden to. They're not obligated to advertise on X.com.
Right.
So, how is that not free speech?
That's whereas the other platforms will censor on behalf of advertisers.
Yes. He's calling out the hypocrisy. God, he's calling out the hypocrisy.
The X platform will not.
Okay. So, but you don't think it's okay for them not to advertise with or have their content or their advertisement next to something that is anti-Semitic or?
That is a different question. You can absolutely choose next to which content do you want your advertising to appear. Absolutely, of course. And we have, I think, very good ad placement controls in this regard.
Yeah. So you said if they kill the company, it's them. But doesn't the buck stop with you?
Now you think it's too fast? Holy fuck. I can't keep you guys happy. I'm a streamer, and this is a tough job, and now I can't keep my chat happy. Nobody's happy with me. All right, we'll go back to 1.25. There.
I mean,
you're on. I have to say, choose your question carefully. There's 5 minutes left.
Okay, but so
is this the question you want to ask?
The same question is you said.
He's getting mad.
That they
He's
are
getting
the company,
mad.
but you're the head of the company. The buck doesn't stop with you.
I acquired X in order to preserve freedom of speech in America, the First Amendment. And I'm going to stick to that. And if that means making less money, so be it.
So I have to be, listen, I'm just being honest, right? I'm not trying to, get you or anything.
I actually do want to slow it down because it feels like this is where it's getting, the tension's getting pretty high right now. All right?
I was just surprised that you would blame other people for killing the company. I mean, when you say the buck stops with the President of the United States, regardless of what happens, right? So, why would that question upset you? You seem upset by it, are you?
I think you.
And I'm not trying to upset you.
Well, you are upsetting me because the way you're phrasing the questions, I think, is not cogent.
It's not what?
Not cogent.
Cogent.
Yes.
Go ahead.
If given a choice where an advertiser is saying you have to censor all this content on the platform, irrespective of where their advertising appears, then our answer will be look, you can choose where you want your advertising, what you want your advertising to appear next to, but you can't insist on censorship of the entire platform. And if you insist on censorship of the entire platform, even where your advertising doesn't appear, then obviously we will not want them as an advertiser.
So what would you say to advertisers who have left the platform or who?
Well, yeah, because that would be the equivalent of, okay, DirecTV is how we used to watch TV, cable or DirecTV. And so if an advertiser is on a kid's show on, Nickelodeon or some shit, okay? Well, then that's where they want to be advertising. But if the same provider is offering G4 back in the day when it was edgy, then that would be the equivalent of an advertiser on a platform trying to police everything going on.
Or considering coming back or not coming back. What would you like to say to them?
Well, first of all, almost all of our advertisers are coming back to the platform. So it's a very short list of advertisers who are not coming back to the platform. And our advertising revenue is rising rapidly. And our subscription revenue is rising rapidly. And I feel very optimistic about the future of the X platform.
Okay. Listen, honestly, I'm not meaning to offend you. You're an intense person. Where does that intensity come from?
I was born that way. And
He's
I had a tough childhood.
getting mad.
You did?
So, yeah.
How so?
Oh, fuck
Like
off,
Walter Isaacson
dude.
goes in.
Oh my God, this dude really went there. Holy shit.
I was born that way. And I had a tough childhood.
You did?
So, yeah.
How so?
Right, Walter Isaacson goes into it in the book, and we only have a couple minutes left, so.
All right.
Too long to describe. So the one or two questions I can do, and then we'll have to call it.
Right. Okay. Again, I don't mean to upset you. Why are you just?
No, I have a whole room full of people waiting to meet with me.
Okay.
So we're just going over time.
Okay. All right. I understand that. So when you talk about, you said you were born that way. Is that, did you think that the way that you see the world has to do with your relationship with anyone, perhaps your father or someone in your family?
I think we're all affected by the people we grow up with. My aspiration is to do whatever it takes to extend consciousness into the future. That's my goal. To make life multiplanetary as part of extending consciousness into the future.
Have the past few years, and considering everything that's gone on, has it been difficult for you and your family life?
It's been okay.
So then, how do you see your legacy, Elon? How do you see how people see you in the?
First of all, I say that if I died knowing that I did what was right, or did my best to do what was right, and even if in the history books they said I did wrong, I would still feel okay about that. I care about the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. I think we should view civilization as tenuous, as fragile. If you do study history broadly, you'll see that there's a rise and fall to civilizations. They don't always go up. So we should do everything we possibly can to preserve and extend civilization as we know it.
Yeah.
And improve it. To become more enlightened over time. And we therefore want to address civilizational risks. We want to make sure that we don't have, for example, demographic collapse, which is the case in a lot of countries, just very low birth rate. We want to avoid World War III, anything that is a civilizational risk. That's what I care about, civilizational risks. How do we extend consciousness into the future such that we are able to better understand the nature of reality? Yeah. That's what I care about. That's my motivation.
I know you have to go. If you'll just give me, I'll do a rapid fire thing here. Is there anything that you would change about anything that you've done in your life in the past or recently?
I've made many mistakes over the years. If I had a time machine, I'd go back and fix them. But I don't have a time machine.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So that's it. And as Elon would say, you be the judge. Let me tell you something about this show. The conversation doesn't end just because the camera stops.
Fuck off. I don't even want to hear what you got to say. Fuck off. I don't even want to hear what you have to say. You're a piece of garbage, Don Lemon. You're a horrible person. This exposed you for the horrible person that you are. And I'm blown away. And I did get an update on it. So I just refreshed 15,000 downvotes now, been completely ratioed. So 15,000 downvotes. Don Lemon is oh my gosh. Like, yes, he's bad. He's probably still not as bad as Chris Cuomo, which says a lot about Chris Cuomo, but they're both equally terrible. And that was one of the most disrespectful interviews I have seen. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if there's am I wrong? Has there been a more disrespectful interview? That was absolutely disrespectful. That was horrible. I can't believe how bad that was. And yeah, he didn't make himself look good. That's for sure. He did not make himself look good. That was astonishing how bad that was. But yeah. Elon, I mean, as much as Elon's to blame for like letting that happen, he is to blame for letting that happen. He absolutely is. But he came out looking, I think he looks a lot better. He looks really good in the whole interview overall. It's just that he should have never let that happen. And he probably learned his lesson moving forward, and he's probably never going to allow himself to be put in that position again. But that was rough. I saw someone when I paused it, and somebody, I don't know who it was. If I see your name again pop by, I'll probably remember. He's like, "We almost made it to the end, boys," because I'd stopped it to start talking again. He's like, "We almost made it to the end." So thank you guys for struggling through that with me. That was rough to get through for sure. And man, what in the heck are we doing? Whew. Man. Okay. Anyway, let me catch up on some super chats really quickly. Where are we at? Disco Cobra for 20 says, oh, it was Greg. Yeah, Greg, it was you. It was you who said we almost made it to the end. Disco Cobra for 20 says, I would say so many people have a lot of privilege. I have privilege just to have a fast internet connection and a roof over my head. Many of us are, to some extent, I'm very happy with my life, but still on the grind. Absolutely. I mean, listen, every single person living in the United States of America right now has privilege. You just do. A lot better than others. Some have terrible circumstances, but what I mean by that is there are opportunities if you're willing to actually apply yourself, no matter who you are, no matter what you've been through. There are people in other places that do not have those, that they do not have those opportunities in front of them. They just don't. And life is like, you know, the strong survive. So the people that are willing to get up there and do it are going to, you know, be successful. The people that don't give up. Waylon Jennings says, in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Trump is Sam and we are Frodo and the liberals are Smeagol. Chat needs a palate cleanser. You want a palate cleanser? What would we, you know, what would we do for a palate cleanser? Let's see. I think I got an idea. I got an idea for a palate cleanser. Okay. Let's see. I think I can find one. Let's see. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. All right. Here we go. All right. You're welcome, chat. There we go. You're welcome. Make sure we got the frame rate turned all the way up.
And I know he'll be fighting for every one of us so that this doesn't happen to us.
And that is Alina Hava.
Oh, don't cut away from Alina Hava.
We'll continue to fight, not for him, but for the American people. I'll take some questions.
Thank you. I know the president has called this a witch hunt. You just laid out several examples of that. Any other thoughts that the president has communicated to you in terms of why this is going on?
All is forgiven. You see how easy it is to get the chat back on my side. You see how easy it is. They don't hate me. They just hate me temporarily, okay? They just hate me temporarily, but they won't stay mad at me, okay? They would never stay mad at me. They just wouldn't. Let's see. You know what? Hang on. Is it the there's something else I was going to show you guys if I can find it really quick. All right. Give me a second.
Get the Hayden video.
Huh?
Don't forget the Hayden video.
Oh, yeah. You put that in the chat? Did you put that in the CobraCast chat? Let's see here. There we go. Okay. Found it. Okay. You're welcome, chat. Okay. Hang on. I'm trying to get it. I know. You guys calm down. Calm down. All right. Here we go. All right. There we go. Let me get the... There we go. All right. You happy, chat? Are you happy? Okay. JBFS says you guys are creeps. I think they just... I think it's not that. And there's nobody that's a creep here, okay? We respect women, okay? We respect women, okay? That's all it is. We just respect women, and we like to show our appreciation for women, okay? And I don't think there's anything wrong with respecting women, okay? Respect women. That's all we do around here, all right? We think that representation is important, and it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Mountain Gnome says, to think like a leftist, you need to remove all reason and accountability. Ain't that the truth? Notable Zero says, Diablo 3 Lord of Destruction is the only Diablo game. Justin Martin says, has Elon liked one of Ryan's tweets yet? Maybe Ryan could hook you up with Elon an appearance on Tuesday night's main event. Maybe one day that would happen. Swords of Starship says, Commander, CobraCast is my favorite political show, but only you got to shake the hands, or let's see, but only you got to shake hands with Matt Walsh. He did not reach understanding with me or the millions of gamers he insulted. He is still part of the problem. No, I 100% agree with that. What my whole thing, the only thing I was saying was that people are like, is he going to apologize? I don't know. I don't know. I am not telling anybody they have to forgive Matt Walsh. I don't give a fuck if you forgive him. All right. He doesn't deserve shit from you. I was just telling people that he and I had a conversation. No gamer should feel obligated to forgive Matt Walsh for his gaming take until Matt Walsh squares that away with the gamers. And so maybe I should have said that in my tweet to give a little more clarity, but you can clip it out now, okay? Matt Walsh, he and I had a conversation. We're square, from that perspective, and I was able to share my perception as a gamer and what I believe he misses. But he doesn't owe the gamers don't owe him shit until he apologizes to them. And will he? I don't know. That's up to him. But let's see here. Hayden says, have you seen the rumors that Sydney Sweeney and her family are MAGA? I've seen that floating around, but I can't confirm. I've seen the rumors, and but I don't know. I haven't confirmed. I heard her family was so she was at a party or something years ago, and there was MAGA hats and stuff. But I don't know that for sure. I don't. Lefty Raccoon says, you want a real example of DEI getting people unalived in piloting airplanes? Look up the name Kara Holtgreen, F-14 pilot that had a left engine stall on the final approach. That is from Kara Holtgreen, 8565 to 8594, 82594. Kara Holtgreen. Before Movie Stuck says, lesson learned. When life gives you Don Lemon, give him back. Then put Sydney Sweeney in the thumbnail and monetize the aftermath. I like that. JM Elliott says, let's see, thanks for the lemon party. Steve ZY says, Lemon is so privileged he was able to skate on sexual battery charges. Darth Racer says, Jeremy, my space dynamics teacher is in college, was black. He obviously took advantages of opportunities that anyone else had access to. You can accomplish anything in this country if you apply yourself. I agree. Disco Cobra says, nah, dude, Sydney Sweeney at the Oscars was way hotter. That gold dress makes me bite my fist. Also, what about goth mommies? Who is with me on some of these thick goths on TikTok? I don't even know if I've seen that one. You know what, though? On that note, I'm glad you brought that up, okay? I'm glad you brought that up because I will always give more context and more perspective. We talked about the OnlyFans girl that, said she was found Jesus and all that, and she was turning her life around. I was a little skeptical, but we do have at least somewhat of an update on that, okay? According to what I've seen anyway, she has deleted all of her OnlyFans content now. She's deleted everything. She's deleted every single piece of media, and apparently she's no longer promoting it. So, respect where respect is due. It seems like she might be genuine. Now. I was very skeptical. I'm like, come on, man. Really, really, really? But there you go, man. She's deleted all of her stuff. And if that's the case, then good for her. She deleted everything. And I guess she's got a legal note saying for people not to share any of her content that she had. So there you go. I'm not saying I'm 100% convinced, but I am willing to give an update and at least say that that's a step in the right direction in terms of me buying her story. I don't care what she does. Like, it's her life. She can do whatever she wants. When she released the video, though, I was like, you just went mega viral, like for being a mega thought. And now suddenly you're turned your life around. I had some doubts, and I still do. But that's an interesting little update right there to the story. So the MAA Aarons says, bro, I got a BBW coming over. I'm assuming you mean big, beautiful woman. I'm hoping that's what you mean by that. And if so, congratulations, man. Congrats, chat. Congrats. Chat, congratulate Aaron on having a BBW coming over. All right. Let me see. The last time it was 90% did not believe that she was legit. Okay. Is the OnlyFans girl telling the truth? Let's see. All right. Is the OnlyFans girl telling the truth? Start poll. There you go. Last time it was like 90% did not believe her. All right. 90% did not believe her. So let's see if she's made a believer out of the snake pit. Wow. Okay, right now it's at 62 says no, but that means that's a big difference. It's a big difference. It looks like Simpy's in the chat. Old Renaissance Nerd says, here's $10 to wipe away your whiny ass. You fig, is your battery recharged now? LOL. Hail the 199. Hail the fellowship. Hashtag Trump 2024. Thank you, brother. Mountain Gnome says, what an absolute dumpster fire. You talking about the interview or the show? It could apply to either. I'm hoping you meant the interview. We'll see. Eric CB9112 says, thoughts on Fredo Cuomo joining Valuetainment. I hate it. I hate it so bad. I think that Andrew Cuomo is one of the worst people, period. Like, he's just awful. He's awful. And when is he supposed to start with Valuetainment? Like, when is he supposed to be on? Valuetainment? Do we know when his first day is? Man, the OnlyFans girl is making a dent in the snake pit. It's 57. It's 58 to 42. Last time it was 90-10, I think, or something like that. Nobody believed her. Nobody. Chris, did I say Andrew? Chris Cuomo. I'm sorry, Chris Cuomo. Look, they're both horrible people. There's not a whole lot of difference between the two. But let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, Hayden. I'm getting it right now. Hayden. I'm on it. Hayden's yelling at me. Rightfully so. All right. Let me see. I'm pulling up the chat to see if I can find it really quickly. Did you put it in the CobraCast chat? There it is. Okay. Here we go. All right. This is what Hayden wanted me to show really quick. The hell are you? Oh, is this in reference? Let me reread his comment. It was a $50 super chat, right? That he has sent that on. Let's see. Let me reread what Hayden said first. Right here. All right. Since Donnie, talking about Don Lemon, wants to talk about slaves, I have a 30-second video I'm throwing in the CobraCast Discord. Jeremy, it should be safe to play on YouTube. It's on YouTube, and YouTuber uses it occasionally, so maybe worth a try. All right, so let's see. Let's hope that we don't get hit on this one, okay? Let's hope we don't get hit. Here we go right here. So this is Wonder Chosen Slaves. Oh, boy. Oh, no.
Slaves built the pyramids. Slaves built the Parthenon. Slaves built America. Slaves, this is your song. Thank you. Slaves, thank you. Slaves, thank you. Slaves, slaves, this is your song. Thank you. Slaves, 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 slaves.
Holy shit. Oh man, I was not prepared for that. That's got 709,000 views. I don't even want to look at the comments. Oh God. Parody. Holy shit. Whoo. Whew. Oh boy. That was that almost put me in tears right there. All right, Hayden. Good one. That was a good one right there. Holy shit. That was amazing. All right, how's all right, right now, so the chat will the chat, she won over a lot of the chat. All right? She won over a lot of the chat. Man, all right, we'll have to see what the next update requires, but she won a lot over. Again, thank you, Willie Will, for that insane 199 super chat, you mad lad. JB24 says, hey, Jeremy, I sent you a friendly reminder about an email request for advice. It may have gone to junk. Thanks again. Noted, man. Thank you for the thank you for the reminder. Piano Dean says, Jeremy, I used to pause CobraCast until I finished Tim Pool. Not no more. 199 first. Every Tim Pool a pause. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot to me. Again, I think Tim runs a great show and does a great job. I just so I take that as a very high compliment when people say they would rather watch me than him. Marty says, for 20 says, would a movie about MCU fans' love for Krista make a great one-sided love story? For the people in the chat, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know about anybody else who would watch it, though. Hayden Wayne says, my 30-second video is getting less and less relevant. It's fine, but remember that Don brought up slavery in the stupid context. Got you, Hayden. Let me see. Daniel Heron says, what does Brandon call bath time with his grandkids? A bloodbath. Oh, my gosh. Kurt Engelstare says, post a link in Discord for Biden and Obama video. All right, see if you can find that one. I got to be careful in playing some of these videos, though, because I have been hit in the past. Cole Hauser says, hey, Jeremy, here in Canada, our conservatives are establishment RNCs. We need a house cleaning like Trump did. 199, praise Ara. Trump 2024. Absolutely. Oh, Kurt Ingalls says, end wokeness is liberal hive mind, I believe. Oh, you think the end wokeness is liberal hive mind. Lethal Lightning. What up, Lethal? Sydney Sweeney's left hit is bigger than her right. If anybody knows, it would be Lethal. He studies these things, okay? Like a respectable man. Jared the American says, apparently I asked the doctors if they were, LOL. Love Dogs says, 1-800-DENKI made a new clip on Gary's win. 1-800-DENKI is crushing it. He's got a 199 video, actually. We actually played that on Daily today, the 1-800-DENKI, and it's so funny. Let me see if I can pull that up really quick. 1-800-DENKI. I just need to subscribe to this channel. I'm going to subscribe to you, 1-800-DENKI, if I can find it. Okay. No, I want the 199 one, though. It's the one I was going to pull up. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right, let me read in there. All right, here we go. I gotta sneeze. I hate sneezing on camera. I hate it. I hate sneezing on camera. All right, here we go right here. I got it. We're going to show everybody really quickly. Click on it right there. All right, here we go. So this is one. This is so good, man. You guys are the best. Here we go. It's going to be great.
I can't wait for that. Hold on. I got to address someone in the chat here. We got Awesome Guy.
Awesome guy. What's up, awesome guy?
Celebration cringe. Are you retarded? Star Wars Celebration has been a thing since 199.
199?
I don't know who the fuck you are. I just got this stream on my recommended for some reason. Stop being reactionaries. Well, awesome guy. I'm sure the chat's going to love you. But awesome guy, if you want Star Wars Celebration cringe, I am here. I'm here to give that to you. Don't fucking worry.
199. 199.
Since 199.
199 the chat.
All right. It's been around for almost 2,000 years, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Dude, that's so good. I love these animations you guys are doing. So I did subscribe. We need to get 1-800-DANKY to 1,000. We got to get that done. We got to get that done. So yes, like that's the whole the meme of it is how shit we look terrible. But that's why it's funny. God, you guys are we have the best people like supporting us. It really is awesome. Thank you so much for that. Darth Rachel says, Elon was correct about slavery. Going back through recorded history, you'll find all ethnicities have been enslaved at some point in history. I suggest people check out Thomas Sowell's videos on the topic. Yeah, he pretty much crushed Don Lemon on that one. Lemon had nothing. He had nothing. All right, I got to get caught up. We got a lot. Jeffrey says, long time, first time, 57-year-old vet locksmith, gamer for 47 years. It is wonderful to see people waking up to the corruption. Thank you. Hail the 199. Thank you. Kurt Inglestair says, if you put motivational music behind Stephen A., Ministry of Wrong Thing, if it was already reported over 90% of CNN's Trump coverage was anti-Trump and they still gush over Obama. Alex Jones says, it's okay for Don Lemon to say fig because he is one. Hal, let's see, he says Roadster Fund. Oh, that's $2 to my Roadster Fund. I like it. I like it. Ichigo says, were you going to listen to Puke Lemon's entire piece? Please say no. Looks like you were not happy with me. Ministry of Wrong Thing says, Major, this date isn't going well. Better pretend to need the restroom and bail vibes. Blue-Eyed Scorpio says, the reason is a terrible interview is because all Don Lemon can think about is trying to get some gotcha to launch him into lefty relevance. That is true. Greedo Gaming says, Don Lemon gives off serial killer vibes, creepy as fuck. SBZ says, ask Elon, can you describe who Zelda is? Big Mike says, how is Don somehow more autistic than Elon? Lean back, have a snack, take a nap says, so Elon, do you wipe with your hand right or left? And when did you stop beating your wife, Elon? Yeah, those are the type of questions. Ichigo says, AIDS limit for president. Andrew CR feels like Elon is talking to one of the test monkeys for Neuralink. Holy shit. Joseph A says, okay, Jay is awkward. Don is a freaking talking disaster. On the upside, I think we know why X didn't pay Don. As would say, he's boring. He's boring. Greedo Gaming says, Lemon's interview is by far the worst, most cringe interview I've seen. His questions for Elon were way too personal, creepy, and just weird. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, again, Elon Musk is probably... him and Trump are the two most famous people on the planet. So I mean, I am a barely a low tier YouTuber, but I've made a point to not bring. I don't talk about anything about personal life or family or anything like that on the internet. Just don't do it. That's, other people do. That's fine, but I don't. Culper says, the contempt on Don's face is disgusting. Sporking News Podcast. What's up, Sporking News? Don is a snake, or is it that he likes snake-shaped things? I think we know the answer. Gerald Armstrong says, DEI equals die. Darren says, Don Lemon suggested that missing flight MH370 might have been swallowed by a black hole. Enough said. Bane Zero, Jeremy, if you're making us watch this to punish us for something, I apologize. Pretty sure Lemon is going to give us a stroke at this rate. Were you guys complaining that bad in the chat? I am so sorry. Aurora Uplink says Don Lemon is scrapping the bottom, trying to dig up dirt. He only made himself dirty. No boss will hire him after he betrayed Musk, who gave him a new career. Elsa Barrett says, I can't believe they thought this interview was a win. Kevin B says, been creeping on phone browser since first IRL. Hate YouTube, but wanted to scan in, so I finally downloaded. Elon deserves I don't know exactly what that is after this one, though, but thank you. I appreciate that, Kevin. Philip Chan. Philip, eggs in the chat. Elon has exhausted all of his NPC's dialogue. NPC Don Lemon is just repeating the same thing. Eatin' Ass says, can we check some comments after? Can we check? Oh, you're talking about on Don Lemon's video? Let me see if I can pull that up. Slain Hope says, Lemon knew this was going to be career suicide. I wonder who paid him to make an ass out of himself by asking a bunch of D-grade gotcha questions. I think it was his desperation to try to get back in with the CNNs of the world and the left. And you saw how giddy he was when he was on The View. He was so proud of himself because it was him coming back to these leftist weirdos, and they were so like congratulatory of him because he did a gotcha interview with Elon. It's that weird kind of leftist mindset, man. It's a weird kind of thing. Slain Hope says, hope you didn't book that stage for the whole year. Ichiko says, is 13% contributing 60% of the crimes a strength? Fantastic vs. Knox says, and like clockwork, mainstream media reported Musk's drug use. Of course they did. East Coast Toasted Boy says, Don Lemon likes sausage in between his lemons. Slain Hope says, he can't afford to look young. He can't afford his look young injections anymore. East Coast Toasted Boy says, that was a message from Robert Frank 615. You guys should follow him if you want gym humor and your daily dose of toxic masculinity. Yeah, I know who Robert Frank is. Buster Nutsmatch says, Elon Musk is more African than Don Lemon. Zalisha says, you voluntary search for that, talking about Don Lemon's boyfriend. Robert Broker says, you liked searching Don Lemon and his gay boyfriend, Fig. Ackle P2. For web browser angst and suffering. Valkyria Winter, are you saying you were happy looking up Brie Larson feet? Then just asking. I'm sure one will get that rolling again. I would much rather search Brie Larson's feet any day in this life or the next than I would rather search Don Lemon and his boyfriend. 1000%. Mikey MFJ Lag says, did you hear about Keith Olbermann stuff? Fox just reported it. He hinted at unaliving Trump app. Yes. I did. Jeremy's battery's low. Not really. Yeah, we covered that a little bit early on in the show. Aurora Upleak says, hilarious. Watch Helldivers cartoon, 2 minutes long. Probably a little late for that because I'm way over on time. All that's hitting my feed on YouTube is Helldivers now. That's all that's hitting my feed is Helldivers. I love it so much. Helldivers is the best thing ever. I'm not going to play the whole thing. All right. But like, this is like, I'll play like a quick little snippet of the thing I played on daily. Helldivers is the greatest fucking thing ever. Watch this. Tell me this doesn't make you want to just run through a wall. Okay. It's the greatest thing ever. Here we go. Oh my gosh, it's so good. People are like, is it better in Fortnite? I don't even know if you can compare the two. I don't know if you can compare the two. I mean, I love Fortnite. I'm still going to go play Fortnite. I'm still going to play Fortnite. It's just a different, and plus when you're playing PvE versus PvP, it's a whole different experience anyway. It's a whole different dynamic. But yeah, Helldivers is fantastic. It really is. And the music is so good. East Coast Toasty Boy says the Obamas, the most successful family without a mother in the home and 2 mics in the house. Big Mike and one-eyed Big Mike. Not good for family. Neg says rich kids have helicopter crash kinds of problems. 50 Shades of Grayson says Don Lemon, the most disingenuous man to ever live. Josh says, Don speaks about how racist and how good white people have it. How would he know? He is secretly white. Horror Amarada. Stop making Jeremy actually work. It's not fair. He's going to burn out. Sarcasm. What's up, Horror Amarada? Josh says, Don, Elon, why did you stop beating your wife? Fused Soul says, you can tell Lemon was trying so hard to coax a aggression reaction out of Elon there at the end, 1,000%. Objectively, a cat says, Don is a nice example of a dark, triad. So I was wondering where you're going with that one. A narcissist who packs human empathy, sociopath, and uses others as a means to his own ends. Machiavellianism. John Kennedy says, I'm not up to date as I should be, but it looks like they might seize Trump's property in New York City. It will be crazy if they do. Hail the 199-632-15. They're going to try. And honestly, let them do it. Let them actually seize his property. Okay. 1,000%. And it's just going to blow back on him. Bane Zero says, Sweeney, now Helldivers, then Sabaton. DM says, take a look at Better Bachelor's Take. Nick Skyberg didn't delete her OnlyFans. She put it to subscriber only, and now she can't delete it for at least a month. Oh, really? Okay. Ryan says, let's see. Fat chicks need love too. Anthony says her content is still on the porn websites. Kurt Angle Stare says, what the fuck is even that? Thank you, Anthony. Anthony knows. How would you know that, Anthony? I'm just messing with you. All right, let's see. Lord Botha says on Sunday Fun Day stream, someone thought you were Kara's husband. You got the same name, and I was like, Jeremy can't be married to her. Everyone knows he's a gay fig. Yeah, I met her husband. He's a great guy. Mod Eric says Jeremy and Matt will be taking a special cruise soon. Johnny Witzka says Tim Pool reported that Trump can't pay Peekaboo James the money, so they're going to seize his buildings. Do you know what Trump can do? I'm thinking he should do is just allow it and leave New York. Yeah, I mean, the thing, and again, I'm not going to pretend to know all the specifics. Like, Trump could sell stuff right now. Like, Trump has value. It's not like Trump, unlike Fannie Willis, Trump and most rich people don't have money just laying around, cash laying around. That's really not how it works. So for Trump to does he have, of course he could sell off stuff or he could do whatever and he can make that money up, but he's not going to do that. So he needs to let them go ahead and do this. And trust me, he will end up winning in the end. Johnny Wickett says, did you notice that I rated you on Kick last night with 152 viewers? I was playing Turok on N64. Have you ever played that? What do you think of the controls? You move with the C button. You rated me with 152 viewers on Kick last night? I didn't see that. I don't even have a notification for that. Hang on. I don't have a notification for that. For any raid. I'm looking right now. The last, Ben Giles subscribed yesterday. Raider dropped 10 gifted memberships. Doug B dropped some memberships. But either way, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. But I didn't see a notification for it. But I see the Kick chat is there now. I see all of you over there. Thank you so much. Let's see. Eric says, I'm Batman, is what Jeremy says on the gay cruise. But that is a whole other thing. Vault95 says, well, now let's watch the corporate content creators, formerly mainstream media, run smear pieces calling Elon a drug-abusing alcoholic who has depression and is unstable mind state due to genetics. That's what they're going to do. That's exactly what they're going to do. Johnny Whiskett says Don wants Elon to play the moral police. Don doesn't see the hate speech as free speech. It doesn't matter if it's hateful or not. It should be allowed to be said in this country, no matter who's the asshole. Let's see. Wisdom prevails. Gary hits 1 million, and somehow we pay a worse penalty than Dan Vask will have watching this interview. Nagranal says, this has been the worst CobraCast thanks to Don, LOL. You in the chat have been incredible as always. Can we watch Danky's latest video in honor of Gary? It's only 24 seconds long. Yeah, let me see if I can get that one pulled up. Kappa Cheese says, there's enough material on Melanie Mac's, Melania. You spelled Melanie different. It's with an O. Melanie Mac's Twitter feed to fit Donnie Boy's hate speech narrative. Instead, he provided memes. Exactly. PJ says, few very natural things are symmetrical. How boring would our boobs be if they were perfect? Jeez, exactly. Let's see. Ren Chronicle says, Jeremy, it's me, Sophie. YouTube won't let me super chat. Can you react to a video? I made it live. I can send it on Twitter, Hell the 199. I've got like 5 videos requested right now. I'm going to do Danky's video because that one, I've got that one pulled up. PJ says, Don just summed up this whole interview when he said, can you repeat that? I did not understand what you said. Wesley says, this is a man who once pondered out loud if missing plane got stuck in a black hole. Let's see the 1-800-DANKY video really quick. Did I not have that? All right, so yeah, because Gary, here it is. Yeah, 24 seconds long. All right, here we go. Boom, here we go. No sound? What the fuck? Why was there no sound? I'm a fucking retard.
It's over. It's over, Dan.
It's over, Dan.
Now you know the meaning of pain. You know the meaning of humiliation. You know the meaning of defeat.
All right, well, if there was ever a moment to boomer, it would be celebrating Gary's 1 million subscribers. So yeah, that's perfect. So we just fucked that whole thing up, didn't we? Hey, it's a testament to Gary, all right? Gary boomers more than anybody, and he's got 1 million fucking subscribers. 1 million. You kidding me? How the hell did he pull that off? I don't get it. Johnny Whiskett says, I had a coworker who gets news from the mainstream media because it's the mainstream media. Is that reason enough to believe everything they tell us? Don is like, we're mainstream media. We're bigger. We're always right. Do what we say. Vault 95 says, to live up to Don Lemon's standard, Elon should delete the interview for Lemon using the Film Actors Guild word at the beginning. Let's do it. Let's go. Johnny Whiskett says, I think the problem with Don is that he just doesn't get it. He doesn't grasp other people's perspectives, so everything is common sense is alien to him. To me, he's too prideful. He believes he's always right. Sith Lord says, Jeremy, what's your sign? Dan Vask wants to know. Lying Dog Face Phony Soldier with a gifted membership. Alex Jones says, Don Lemon's a fig. Jack says, like most leftists, Don refuses to accept that he is far left because he thinks he is the normal one and everyone else is the extremist. Munchie Ninja. Don Lemon has the N-word pass revoked. Trust me, I was told by a Malaysian spy named you know what? Let's see. Serona Almighty, welcome to the Snake Pit. Emerald Eyes. We've already had flying cars and floating cities by now. If Democrats and libtards didn't exist, can't change my mind. Kevin, welcome to the Snake Pit. Quentin says, Don is such a whiny fig. You know, he's still getting a check from the Clown News Network wherever he got his college degree should give him a refund. It's kind of magic. Says lefties will say they don't agree, but will fight for your right to say it. It's all a lie. Razor Fist said it best. Watch what they do, not what they say. Sally Ito says, I hate to say this, but I think Don is a tard. I thought I was one, but he is on another level. Geez. Biker Angelo says, an interview between a highly successful African man and Don Lemon. Diversity. 199 MAGA 2024. Yo, Pops. What's up, Yo, Pops? Don Lemon got a white chocolate in his mouth. Anyways, hope y'all are doing good, Jeremy. And chat, Justin says, my kids don't have rich parent advantage, but we are teaching them the value of hard work. That's right. Fuse Souls, welcome to the Snake Pit. Chris says, Don Lemon, not a journalist, definitely a propagandist. On another note, what was with Trump's True Social praising the jab for curing cancer? I don't know the specifics of that. I just wish Trump would shut the fuck up about the jab because he's too prideful. He wants credit, and he walks right into traps on it. And he shut up for a while, but yeah, he just can't shut up about it, though. Lisa says, I need Dan Bask for the 5% of chat. Sorry, Sweeney doesn't cut it. Oh, we can't do that. We can't do that. No. Dan Vask is, there's better options than Dan Vask. Fuck him. Anthony for the gifted membership. Thank you. 2 gifted memberships. Brockatron says Don Lemon was like a child interviewing his boss. The OnlyFans girl's quitting is great and all, but what she probably done is insane and can't be taken back. And then Nate says, please no more Don Lemon parties. And I think we are caught up. Are we caught up, Jed? Are we caught up?
We are.
We are caught up. And ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the show. And what a night it's been. A great night, as always. We got Geeks and Gamers Daily tomorrow, and then we got Tuesday night's main event, a big Tuesday night's main event. I'm really excited about Tuesday night's main event. And so it's really exciting. And we got Sexy Back End. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Sexy Back End on the way. Oh, I forgot to say it. Yeah. So there's one more super chat. There's one more super chat. There's one more super chat, ladies and gentlemen. One more. And it is from KBiz on Streamlabs for $1,000. KBiz on Streamlabs for $1,000 and says, Geeks and Gamers continuing the greatness. Hell yeah. KBiz dropped $1,000. I respect that. Yeah. KBiz dropped $1,000 on Streamlabs. What a fucking mad lad. Holy crap. And Sexy Back End is here. Boom. Look at there. Look at there. $1,200 in chat revenue. 21 new members. You guys are amazing. Black Tiger says, how 2 boomers to $1 million? Easy, he was going for $2 million. That's amazing. So thank you guys for the support as always. You know, I don't think I deserve the level of support that I get, but I clearly appreciate it. Who wouldn't? But I don't know, man. I talk about it privately with people sometimes. I was talking the other day about with another YouTuber, and I was like, I didn't think I would continue to get this level of super chats for this long. Like I thought people would give up on me and just be like, yeah, he's not worth our money. And if that ever happens, I will totally understand. I'm thankful for every day and every moment you guys support us here, whether it's on Geeks and Gamers or here or any of the other respective channels. So, yeah, if it all falls apart tomorrow, I'm the luckiest guy in the history of the internet. And if a retard like me can do something, then it's looking good for anybody else out there. So thank you guys so much. Brer says, can't believe this is a 3+ hour show. Went too quickly. Yes, it was a quick show. Well, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people think it went a little longer because we had to do the Don Lemon reaction. But with that said, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for being so supportive of me and for Geeks and Gamers and for everything we're doing. Geeks and Gamers Daily tomorrow, and then Tuesday night's main event, and it's going to be a good one. We've got Grums, we're going to have Cabrutus, and we're going to have Mr. Positivity. Ryan Kennel returns to Tuesday night's main event. That's right. We got a big show tomorrow, and I'm launching a video on Geeks and Gamers. So if you guys want to go check that video out, I'm literally about to launch it right now. And so you guys can go check it out. It's Helldivers. This is a few days old story, but Helldivers actually rejected demands from LGBT weirdos to have like their flag put in on the capes. They wanted like LGBT flags on capes and shit like that. And the Helldivers developers are like, fuck off. Like, we don't want that shit in our game. But it's not just isolated to that. They don't want anything. They don't want any politics in it. They don't want anything with identity bullshit in it. They just want you to shut the fuck up and kill some bugs for Super Earth, which is what it should be about. It's what it should be about. And I guarantee you there ain't a single MAGA person that's going to be offended because they can't have a MAGA cape in the game, because MAGA people aren't inherently looking for that. They're not going like, I need to be represented in my bug killing game. No, the fuck you don't. You just need to kill bugs and do it for democracy. Do it for freedom. Do it for Super Earth. And yeah, so it looks like they've rejected those claims, which is exactly what we need more of. So if you want to go check out that video, I am going to launch that here in just a second. Other than that, you guys have a great day. I love you all. I appreciate you all, and we'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone. right, guys, thank you so much. And if you're interested, you can go over to Geeks and Gamers right now. I just uploaded my Helldivers 2 rejects left-wing demands. And look, I'll meme myself. Look, so I was looking for a good still frame to pause it, and that was the face. And I'm like, I'll just show the chat. I mean, that's, you know, because I'm going through like every pause, I look like a retard. So I'm like, well, every time I pause it, I look like a retard. And so I was like, I was just going to leave it on this one. So, you know, Like, I'm going through it and I'm like, well, okay, well, that doesn't look good. All right, well, hang on. I was like, all right, well, that doesn't look good. All right, that's not terrible, I guess, but none of these were looking too good for me, though. Anyway, please go check out the video. Watch it all the way through. Smash the like button if you don't mind, and drop a comment. It helps if you watch the whole video, okay? I appreciate it, guys. I love you all. Have a great night, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.